Hello everyone, Rambo's here, Rambo's live. There's going to be a lot done today. I'm going to interview someone and then immediately afterwards, we're going to upload my newest video. Semi-uploaded by me, semi-uploaded by my editor. It's going to fucking bang. Now, my newest video is bang, it's doing really good. I don't know why I did that air hump, but it's doing quite good. And you know, a lot of stuff is happening. Making sure my audio is good. A lot of stuff is happening. Perfect. Audio is great. You ain't making it. And you know what's funny, bro? You know what's funny? Give me a second. You ain't typing again. You ain't typing again in this chat, man. Dude, that was quick. Now, again, I don't think people realize I always ban people immediately. And after some time, I'm sure this person is like a petty loser. That's why they made the comment. So they're going to join in with their other accounts. And then at some point, my mods will come in or I will personally just ban them. It's quick. It's simple. It's efficient. People don't recognize that. Now, back to the regular schedule. I appreciate that little fun segment we just had. But here we go. Cameras here. Boom. I need to also turn on the monetization of the live stream. So we'll get that done real quick. I'll share my screen so you guys see what I'm talking about. Now, I have gone professional. I have now developed the habit of every single time I go live to turn on monetization. This has been a big problem for such a long time where for some reason, literally for some reason, I just always forget. I'm Gucci now. I'm very good. Boom. Just turn on monetization. I'm going to make a good 20 to 40 cents off of this live stream, which is great news if I don't get copyright. So I have to really make sure not to scroll too much on TikTok because that will get me copyrighted. And then we'll send this to the Discord for everyone. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. We're done with this. And then I'll also make a YouTube post about everything. So let's do that really quick. Let's go to my channel. Used to be. God damn, 8 people already? Holy shit, I'm fucking making it. All right, wait, hold up. Before we even open up the live stream, I need to make that YouTube post. Okay, so we'll let people know. Interviewing YouTuber today. So right before we interview the person, I totally forgot. I need to send him a message saying, I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna talk to you in a few minutes, so get ready, right? So I'll post this. I'll send him a Discord message just letting him know that, hey, buddy, let's do this. We're also going to do a little bit of research just because I don't really watch, commentary YouTubers. They're not the most entertaining thing. But I'm going to let him know, we'll call you in 30 minutes. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people are not used to having face cam on. And because they don't have face cam on, they literally don't know what to do once we're there. But it's no big deal, okay? So this person has 23,000 subscribers. He has 68 videos, which is very good. Yo, what the fuck? I'm not even fucking kidding. This, hello potato lover. This guy might be a fan, bro. This guy might be a fan. He's commented under my videos a few times, but that is literally almost the same description I have under my own videos. It's like, don't let the titles fool you. There's a deeper meaning. That's like, what the fuck? Wait, what does my video say? It says self-improvement channel. Don't let the random thumbnails and titles fool you. I don't know. I definitely got to ask him about that. So let's see, all right? We're going to check out his most popular video. Hi, Rambo. Who did you ban? I banned some random. Some random person came into the live stream and they said, I'm not going to make it. Guess what? I am going to make it. So that's it, right? So they were just being trolly. They're being negative. I watched that guy? Of course you do, bro. We're pretty much in the same niche. So we're going to interview this person. I honestly, like always, do not know what to talk about. The problem with friends in Gen Z, moving out after high. So I'm going to click semi-recent videos. It looks like most of his, banging videos was a while ago. Everything's kind of old. Dating as a teenager versus dating as an adult. The goth girl epidemic. Wow, this guy just spams a lot of Gen Z stuff. So we're going to do a little bit of market research, right? I checked a little bit of this video. I'll be honest, I didn't watch it. Oh, 47,000 views in 2 months. Yeah, click on that one right there. Okay, so we're going to watch a bunch of his videos right now so we can get a better understanding of who this person is. And let's see.
If you're more attracted.
Give me a second. Give me a second. I gotta turn this all the way up because I have the live stream in the background in case I'm chugging soy milk because I need protein. Are you stupid? Is this a joke, potato lover? Why the fuck? Why the fuck are you chugging soy milk? That makes no sense. What? Okay. Anyway, 47 in 2 months is very good. So I'll check this guy out. My dad is vegan. Okay. I don't think that adds anything to the dude. So your dad is an anime-loving Japanese boy that likes vegan milk, and this is the only shit with protein. Bro, you can eat protein yourself if your dad's vegan. You're not forced to be vegan too.
Private
That's
schools
not good,
are
bro.
known to be very prestigious. Typically, if you go to a private school, that can either mean two things. You're either rich.
I went to a private school. I'll be 100% honest. I tell people, bro, my parents worked hard. I went to a private school during elementary, and then I decided, yeah, this shit is way too hard. So I moved on. With my life. Now let's keep on watching. AI
really
photo
smart.
of kids.
Despite the reputation, most people say private schools are full of entitled, self-absorbed people. Others say it's worse than public school. But I personally think it just depends on the school itself, as I myself was sent to and graduated from a private school. Like, I've seen—
This guy's a rich kid! Yo, what the fuck? This guy's a rich kid. What the hell? Okay, I gotta ask him about this.
Worse than public schools, but I've also seen some public schools being just as bad, if not worse. However, most private schools offer a wildly different experience. People go to private school for a bunch of different reasons.
So this is the rich kid, huh?
A bit different than others in the sense that it wasn't exactly traditional.
So I'll tell you what, he definitely puts effort in his videos because I'll be honest, I'm pretty lazy. I used to do these type of styles of edits, but it's just like, fuck this. It takes too much work, so I'm not doing this. And it's quite simple as just moving it around once in a while. Okay, that's a bad freeze frame. I'm sorry, bro. The comments are, I went to private school and I liked it better than public. Yeah, no shit, bro. Any kid that's in private school complaining is low-key fellow private school graduate, 21, my K-12, and get this, my school only one class per level, so everyone knew everyone. Yeah, no shit, bro. Not everyone could afford private school. Can we talk about... No, lock in Unk. What do you mean lock in? I'm quite locked in. I'm not even kidding. I have 2 fully edited videos done. I have 2 fully video edited. I have 2 videos fully edited done. I'm gonna move the camera down just because sometimes it isn't just capturing the beauty of my face. There we go. And I look taller.
Bunch of different reasons. My reason was a bit different than others in the sense that it wasn't exactly traditional, I guess you could say. In the 7th grade, I was in a school that was so terrible in terms of like actual education.
No, you're gonna complain. Well, hopefully his complaints are worthwhile listening to. I'm gonna cook something. I'm gonna cook some eggs.
And all right, workload. Like, I kid you not, they were giving me more work than most people in med school, and that's saying something for someone who was in 7th grade. So, you know, obviously my grades fell behind a bit. I couldn't keep up with the workload because I had 8 different classes, all giving me homework that was all due the next day. I don't know how the heck they expected anyone in that school to have a life outside of school, because they certainly did not. They're like, oh, but this is just gonna make the kids smarter. No, it's not. You're just making kids hate their lives, and you make them want to. So yes, I was, you know, very depressed at the age of like 12 or 13, but you know, this...
Okay, I don't want to be that guy, but yeah, private school is not an easy school. I went to private school too, and I'm quite the smart person, but when I entered in private school, they're pretty much teaching every kid a year ahead. So when I transferred to a private school, I was technically a year behind everyone, and it was fucking horrible. But I don't know what this guy's talking about. Like, if you know you're failing, just fail 100%. That's what real people do. They don't like... Okay.
That wasn't like the typical, oh my gosh, rebellious teenager depression. Oh my gosh, guys, it's just a phase. It's one thing to feel depressed. It's another thing when you're actively thinking about ways.
Wait, so this video has 42,000. What? 47,000 views? I'm already bored. Let's keep on watching.
You're gonna carry it out. I feel like I didn't clarify this part enough. I wasn't depressed solely because of all the unnecessary work. I was depressed because it led to me not having a life or any other interest of anything outside of dreading the thought of coming home.
This guy's 12 years old.
Why aren't you doing your work? I was trying my hardest, but even then, my hardest never seemed to be good enough for my parents because I was still getting bad grades. And that's all that mattered to them. They thought I was failing on purpose and not trying.
Oh my God. This is going to be genuinely a wonderful conversation. So this person is like raised, maybe Indian, maybe Pakistani. That's the vibe I'm getting, right? Just from the face itself. And he has like the strict, generic parents, rich parents as well. No wonder he doesn't upload a lot. It's because he's probably going to school or some shit. He looks like a high schooler, but I don't want to be rude. He does look like a high schooler though. Gooning, Gen Z. Yeah, no, I have no clue. I have no clue. Can you interview? No, fuck no. Why the fuck would I fucking interview you? People pay to get interviewed, or they're famous enough to get interviewed. Who are you? I'm not even kidding. Who are you, Awesome12? And I check, this guy has like 12 million subscribers. I take it back. I apologize. So let's check out who Awesome12 is, all right? Let's check out Awesome12. 10 subscribers, 2 videos, all right? It's a cat photo. Salt. Nah, it's okay, bro.
Just a little...
That's Awesome12.
Sodium chloride.
Actually, dude, it's salt.
That's what I said.
Keep it up, man. But yeah, no, I'm sorry, bro. I can't interview you unless you got $15.
You know, it's a lot easier for people to, you know, make connections and make longer.
You have 9 viewers. You're not him either. Siabayu. And you know what's funny? I'd rather have 8 viewers. You just got banned. Syntax error. Goodbye. Let's keep on watching.
Long-term lasting effects on things. And you know, if you go up to people looking like a freaking checkerboard, then yeah, it's probably not gonna look good on you.
Potato Lover's like ready to shoot, bro.
Like,
Potato Lover's ready to fucking shoot.
That's why I'm proud to announce today's sponsor, Tej Hanley. Guys, I know, I'm just that good.
This is Miranda. She's one of the boys.
That's just how things are. But you know, some people just aren't some of the boys. And that really...
Dude, I'm not even kidding. So if you guys don't know, Tej Hanley. Wait, what the fuck? I clicked on a completely different video. Oh, jeez. Oh, wait, no, okay, so here's the truth. So another YouTuber I interviewed for the live stream also got a sponsorship deal with Tej Hanley, all right? And what's crazy is that all 2 of them are in the same niche as me. They pretty much make the exact same content as me, but they never hit me up for any skincare shit because I have fucked up skin. I like that is one of the realest moments in the world where if you have a normal looking skin, you get money, man. You get money, not me though. I got acne all over my face. So next time I'm going to work on this. Looking good is money, supposedly. Can you interview me, bro? I got cool Tito Totter edits. No, I'm not interviewing any of you guys unless you guys spend money or are famous. Yo, I'm a high school dropout. Let's go. Seriously? Are you actually a high school dropout? That'd be kind of crazy. I'm talking about college. I think that person's trolling.
I couldn't have been further from the truth.
Yeah, dude, just join the Patreon. I have 3 people like lined up for an interview, so it's like, you know.
So I thought, what was the point of even trying if I could give it my all and not even achieve the bare minimum? All of that just to be seen as the disappointment in the family. That's why I was depressed. So, you know, obviously that was a big problem. I got taken out of that school, and pretty much one of my cousins...
Did he go to public?
My cousins came by, was like, hey, I know you're looking for a school. What about this school? And he showed me, like, this Christian private school that he was going to. Like,
I would have guessed... You know what? Am I being mean? No, you know, I'm going to keep on rolling.
The whole thing with private school stuff, it's like, oh, they're all just rich and smart. You have to be rich and smart to go there. Well, I am neither of those. I'm neither rich nor am I smart. I mean, hey, you guys see the stuff that I put back there. It's not very intelligent. Pretty much. So I toured the school. You give me a tour. Now I'm not gonna say the name of the school for very obvious reasons.
This guy's, and I honestly, this guy's walking around schools to see if he should enroll in them. I wonder how much money this guy has. Yeah, but I got my diploma through online tests and no trolling, laughing my ass off. That's good. What do you do now?
I don't know how much it costed because I just went to the school. My parents paid for it. I didn't know any of that. I was just a student. Well, we went to the school and they were really nice. Like way nicer than, you know, any other school staff. Because, you know, the typical thing with school staff is like, yeah.
This is surprising. I don't know why. I think I have to speed it up. This is the real truth. There's no way I could genuinely react to videos without pausing and just thinking because my attention span is so cooked. I mean, people are just saying private school can be a hit or miss. I went somehow even a smaller private school for 8 years. And the most annoying thing is that if you've done one embarrassing thing, the kids, dude, I feel like this guy hasn't touched on it because he doesn't know, but very easily you talk about caring about other people's opinion. Every fucking kid in private school in this comments is, he doesn't care about there being a lot of homework. He cares because it made him look bad. And everyone else here too. It's like a gifted kid. I mean, everyone just cares about everyone's opinion.
This is a school.
I don't really want to watch this video.
Okay, bye.
Oh my god, how old am I? Take a guess. Take a gander.
School. That's basically how most schools are. But this one, anytime there was a tour, everyone was like super respectful. Even like the students, they wanted to get to.
No one thinks that you goons and fat boys. Let's be honest, okay? like they want you to think that they think you goon to femboys. You're literally being trolled by the entire school. That happens to everyone.
Know you. Ooh, new student. What? Someone else is gonna be in our class. That was a new experience for me. I had like, never seen that from any other school.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm too old to be watching this. It's just like a high school kid, new kid moment type of vibe.
Eventually, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna go to the school. And then began the private school experience.
So this guy goes to another private school.
You've actually seen the school because that's where I graduated from. All that footage that I put in, like life after high school or graduating stuff. That was
oh my
from
god,
that
this guy wait, 2023? So that means this guy's 20 years old? What the fuck?
In, like life after high school or
this guy's 20 years old?
Graduating stuff.
All
that
right.
was from that school. I even still have the uniforms.
20, 19, maybe 21. It really varies.
For very obvious reasons. Now, what is private school like? Most of us, like most of you watching this video, are probably in public school. And you just kind of wonder, like, what would it be like in a private school? Is it just more strict, more work, more everything, less time for
25.
Yes.
What the fuck? Yo, that's the real question. This is what I always do. When people guess your age, it's really close to their own age. I'm not close to 25. I'm assuming you're close to 25, if not older. That's my assumption. 25? What the fuck? I was hoping you'd say 16 or something. Do you not see the acne on my face? I look like a baby. What?
And no, at the same time, you see, my school was different in that sense to where the homework situation was actually really nice. Instead of giving you homework and having it due the next day, they would give you homework and have it due the next week. So every week,
that's kind of weird why you're so obsessed with homework. I don't think homework's that big of a deal.
Next Wednesday. It gave me time to do absolutely nothing before I decided to do the homework that night. The night before. But of course, you had uniforms and everything, but honestly, they weren't that bad. The uniforms they had were actually pretty
What a nice guy, blurring everyone's face. I'll be honest, I would just show everyone's face. Fuck him. Let's be honest.
I'm gonna praise the school for this. Academically, if it wasn't for me being in that school, I would not have graduated with like a 3.5 GPA and AB honor roll. They did a good job of teaching stuff. Like, they just did a good job. Like, they had good teachers and everything. That's one thing I do have to praise them for. And I know that some of them might be watching this video, so I have to be careful about what I say. It's fun.
I'm skipping to the conclusion. I don't know why, but I think it's definitely my attention span that's the problem. You know what? How about this? Let's be even more smart, okay? We have 14 minutes left until we have to interview this guy. So, let's hop on ChatGPT. ChatGPT. And this is what I do every time I don't want to watch a video. I very professionally, okay, I'll show you guys right now. I copy the entire transcript and then I paste it and tell ChatGPT to summarize. So I can tell his edits are not like where it adds to the video. It's just there to keep you engaged. I'm 21, but recently people started looking the same while being 20 to 26. Oh, cool. We're the same age, bro. We're literally the same age. Okay, here's a tight summary. The narrator challenges stereotypes about private school, arguing that experience vary widely. Okay, like every high school. And then after a toxic, overworked 7th grade environment that harmed their mental health, they transferred to a small Christian private school, okay? Academically, it was supportive, weekly. Oh, so this guy's Christian, even better. Actually, I'll write this down. So let's actually be a little professional. I think this conversation is going to be a lot of fun, varying on, how he, I can't really control it, right? But here's a few things I can do. Let's do this. I am going to type out interview with Guy. All right, so it's going to be rich parents, values, school, work, and then let's see, Christian. I don't know how to spell Christian, I'll be honest. Christian, maybe he's a Christian. Okay, 3.5, that's okay. Socially, however, the tiny size made drama inescapable. Limited dating, friend groups, and reinforced their introversion. Resources and sports were limited and some outdated policies. Lunch detention for missing homework. That's so funny. Existed, but was later removed. Okay, I'm so happy I didn't watch that. Overall, private versus public isn't universally better. Private felt better for academics, worse for social life. In the end, school is just a phase, and most people, okay, it's not bad. Okay, not bad. All right, we'll watch the next video. The problem with friends in Gen Z. I feel like this is going to be a very fun conversation with Noth. That's his name, okay? His name is Noth. Maybe it's Noth. Noth. All right, we'll say Noth because it sounds cooler. What did Potato Lover say? Wait, what? What did Potato? I have no idea. All right, we're watching his next video.
I am so lonely.
Son, are you all right?
Why does nobody care about me?
This guy puts effort. I'm not gonna lie, he definitely puts effort in his edits.
Have no issue talking to others. You know, like that old person online who just talks and talks and talks and yaps all the time, as much as they like. There's a bit of charm to that. You know, kind of like reminiscent of older times where people just like spoke to everyone. Now, why is it that my entire generation seems to lack basic social skills? I don't say this to like trash on anyone, but like it's just a genuine question as to why. It's like you go up to someone, just try to start a conversation with them, and they almost look terrified at you, like, what? Someone is speaking to me.
Yo, Noth, by the way, I'm not trying to bash on this person. I think he's going to be very cool, but that's not true. You just probably have bad social skills. And a lot of people who have bad social skills don't know they have bad social skills. So they get a bad reaction. That never happens in real life. If you come with a smile, everything would work out fine.
What? You know, an entire generation of
Okay, hold on, okay. Next question. If he wanted to spark a conversation with someone, what would he say? Imagine, I'll be the girl. Imagine I am a girl. Okay, I'm actually very curious. All right, next, let's keep on going.
Anxious people. And I'm gonna be honest, guys, I kind of am like that too. Sometimes I'm super scared to just go up and talk to people because some of you guys are scary. I feel like if
I predicted that. I didn't even mean to do that. All right, let's keep on going.
I'm gonna end up
so he just has bad social skills.
Day in whatever group chat you're in. It's almost like you look at these older people and you just wonder, like, how do you have all this confidence to just go up to someone and talk to them without any fear of anything, without any fear of rejection? Or just
I'm assuming he answers that maybe.
You guys remember
maybe
when we were
younger?
How when you were younger, when you were like 4 years old or something, you just had the confidence of literally anyone.
Wait a fucking second. I'm not going to lie. This is almost most definitely inspired off of my video about old people confidence. There's genuinely no way. There's genuinely no way this is not inspired off of my video. It's literally the same concept with old and young people having more confidence than when you're in the Middle Ages.
How when you were younger,
or
when
coincidence.
You were like 4 years old or
Coincidence
something,
happens.
you just had the confidence of literally anyone, just go up to anyone,
What do I think about Hispanics? I'll tell you what, I love my Latina. I'll tell you that much. That's what I think about Hispanics.
Any girl, and you're like, yes, hello, it is me. I am here to speak to you today. And then it works out because they're also in the same mindset. So then you end up being friends. Bam, boom, new friend for you. Because I saw a post the other day. I don't know where it was. It's probably on Instagram. I'll see if I can find it because it was an image. If I can't,
the
then
music is so loud.
Pretty much, it was like, I aspire to have the
whatever you do today,
of a
do it with
wearing
confidence.
A Batman t-shirt.
Okay.
And that's pretty much what it seems like when you observe other people like having conversations.
Dude, the volume in this editing is so like
when
confusing.
You observe other people doing basic human interaction. Oh my gosh, what have I come to? Because for whatever reason, there's more and more people that are just alone. More alone than
Someone in chat says, I used to be super shy and ugly and I used my long hair to cover my face. Yo, this guy, bro. Yo, this guy's straight out of an anime. Did you sit in the back of the corner too? But then I cut my hair and became confident. Now I'm the most awesome guy ever. Yo, Potato Lover is tough. Good shit, Potato Lover. What do you think about Spanish people that are European? I don't care. I apologize. Should I care a little bit more?
than ever. How is it that you are surrounded by people? You are surrounded
He's gotta
by
get new
everybody.
photos.
You know, you're in high school, you're in the workforce, you're in college even. You're surrounded by people nonstop. So why is it that you're alone? But it's not just you, it's many other people. There's so many other people that are just alone now for whatever reason. You know, they have a loving family. They have family members that genuinely care about them. But yet every single day when they go to bed at night, they can't help but feel the sense of loneliness. Like no one else is there for them. No one else cares.
So the reason why you feel this way at night, as if no one cares about you, okay, this is gonna sound really crazy, but bear with me here, is because you're right. No one actually cares about you, nor do you actually care about anyone else. So let me explain. So whenever one of your friends,
okay, finally, something that's actually worthwhile, or something that I find interesting,
or acquaintances tells you about a problem that they're having, for example, maybe trying to find a job, sure, you'll feel bad for them in the moment and you will sympathize with them.
Right,
you know,
right. So
friend, that's what you
he's
do.
trying to explain that human beings are inherently selfish. Yo, this kid's about to cook.
Because you're too concerned about your own life to care about anyone else. Because we as humans are just naturally selfish. That doesn't make you a bad person, because that's just how our brains work. Unless you take it to some extremes on purpose, then alright, that's different. But for example, when you're in school studying for a test, you aren't thinking about how everyone else is going to do. You're only concerned about whether you pass the test or not. Then when it's done, you have your final score.
Very true. I wonder what the people
hey, how did you do on the test? Partly
because you're curious vibe is so yo, potato lover, they're fucking talking about you, bro. Having social skills as Gen Z makes you look weird to other Gen Z. Oh my god, bro. Yo, I'm not even gonna lie, this reminds me of my comment section, bro. Sometimes I read this shit, I was like, oh, what are you guys talking about, bro? This is like not the entire theme of the video at all. I think that's the exact same vibe. People are missing the theme entirely, man. They're just typing out random Instagram captions. We are more connected than ever. This is so real, but people need to realize that if they want true friends, they need to be a true friend. Okay, shout out to that guy. That guy gets it.
Everyone else did, because
you responded, by the way.
Score to
he did.
Yours.
He did. 6 more minutes. I'm gonna call him.
There is some slight truth to that. As controversial as it sounds.
Why is everyone trying to get interviewed today? I don't fucking know.
How you're surrounded by everyone, but yet you feel more alone than ever. In a generation where we are
again, guys. I don't think you guys know. It's a paid thing, or you have to have at least like 20,000, 10,000 subscribers. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I can't fucking interview everyone. You can't get Rambo's illegal therapy for everyone, and it needs to be like a thing.
More connected than ever. There has never been a time in history to where you can have this simple device in your hand at any time. You can pull it out anytime, anywhere, whenever the heck you want, and send a message to anyone on this planet. Literally anyone. Whether it's a celebrity or your mom or your...
You know, the only thing I'm learning from this video is that I can take it slow. I honestly, from his channel, which is like successful, I just need to take my videos more slowly, especially these type of videos, because it doesn't follow like a specific framework I believe in. So, I mean, this is my YouTube brain popping off, right? So it's well edited at the beginning to let people know the level of quality they're going to see, and then it drops off because it's like, you know, unattainable to keep it this high quality for so long. And they sets the precedent immediately, and he talks about the consequences. Yeah, it's simply a good video.
Friend across the country. So how is it that we have
his hair is rated? Whose hair? My hair? His hair? I have no clue.
But yet we're so alone. We're more alone than ever.
All right, we're alone.
No one can even have, you know, the basic skills of holding a conversation now. And I struggle with this too. Sometimes.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, I wonder what's gonna happen when we interview this guy. So is it, because if he's talking shit about people can't talk, is he gonna be able to maintain a conversation with me? I'm so curious. The guy you're reacting to?
Speak to someone. Why?
What?
Why am I afraid to go and speak to this person that's like 40 pounds lighter than me? But there may be a reason why you struggle with getting friends. You know, it might be your appearance.
Okay,
you know,
so he's a gym bro.
You
know, I'll be honest, I go to the gym. I don't really care too much about it. It's like a thing for my brain, not really like a muscle thing. So let's keep on watching.
Real thing. You know, if you're more attractive, you know, it's a lot easier for people to, you know, make connections and make longer,
a little bit of the black pill popping in
on things. And you know, if you go up to people looking like a freaking checkerboard, then yeah, it's probably not gonna look good on you.
What the fuck is he talking about? What is he talking about? I get a normal good interaction even though I'm fucking filled with acne. What is this guy talking about? You don't, yo, this guy randomly calls me out. What the fuck? What the fuck? Get this guy out of here.
What is this? And that's why I'm proud to announce today's sponsor, Teach Handle.
No!
Guys, I know,
oh my god.
Good. You know,
kick this guy out, man.
That's just how things are. But you know, some people just aren't some of the boys. And that really sucks because, you know, some people, that's like their only friend group at all. That's their only friend group because they're so socially anxious to talk to anyone else. So then you end up getting fake friends. And the fake friends, this has always been a thing.
You think you can take the black pill part from here?
Literally since forever. It seems that now they are even more effective of doing their job of being fake and like ruining every friend group. If you don't know what a fake friend is, I don't think this guy watches my videos. Pretty self-explanatory.
I think everything we're talking about is
pretends to be your friend but really doesn't care at all. It's like, why are you keeping me around then if you don't care? And you know, they somehow just infiltrate every friend group that you have. You know, friend group A and friend group B.
Weirdly enough, some of these people treat it like a popularity contest of who can have the most friends. Essentially what you're doing is just building up an inactive follower base on Instagram. I personally don't see the appeal in having hundreds of fake friends. If anything, you really just have hundreds of acquaintances rather than genuine connections with
this
other
guy should be
people.
talking about
Because
LinkedIn,
with the rise of
not,
Gen Z
not
came a lack
Instagram,
of empathy
but
with
I get it,
to
bro.
the point to where some people think that this basic human emotion to feel empathetic towards others is something that some people just don't have or is a rare human trait, which really goes to show how messed up we are as a generation. We've been fed this narrative for so long now that some people genuinely believe that there is no good people left on this planet, which is why most people in high school just prefer
I'm so confused. This video is kind of schizo because isn't that what you're talking
to
about?
Stay in their close-knit friend
video?
groups in high school or college because they already know them so well, and it's scary enough having to go talk to new people.
But, you know, you have all these friends in school, you know, especially in high school. You know, a lot of the time, this even happened to me too.
Your friends
when
moved
you
away,
graduate,
it's okay, man.
especially if you're going your own path.
Just saw
everyone just
you,
kind of
Kanye
vanishes,
is a
like, they just
genius video.
disappear off
Haven't
the
watched. Click live first. What? No, leave the live stream, bro. Literally watch my Kanye video. That is quite literally peak, bro. Your life is going to fucking change if you watch that Kanye video. Like, I'm not even kidding, bro. You're watching the wrong thing, man. Fuck the live stream. Go watch the Kanye video. I mean, come back when you're done. We're going to interview some random guy, but like, oh my god, bro, you're missing out. I'm not even kidding. That Kanye video, theoretically, it might do good. I'm just gonna say that it might do good, but I don't want to say too much of it. Then watch 5 more Rambo videos after. Yeah, pretty much, right? Can only play Pop Is In with Joe Bart, my friends now.
So as a broke kid, fresh out of high school, and everyone I knew disappearing into college, especially if it's a lot of people you know, that you were friends with. But
I'm not gonna lie, I low-key want to watch more of his videos just to know more of him. Hey, Noth, are you comfortable with a 15-minute delay? Well, he's late, you stay up and don't wanna mess up your schedule on some considerate type shit. Yes, that's how you type, man. That's how you message other people. I want to watch his other videos. So he made a video about life after high school. So I'm very curious about his perspective.
Like them, but
Oh my god, this is gonna be so fun, bro. So I'm actually doing a lot of research because he's willing to be vulnerable in his videos, which is amazing. So life after high school in Gen Z. So let's see.
But the one
I've never had friends since I was 12 and I want to be your friend. No. No, bro. How old are you? Yeah, that's a real good question.
Everyone in this situation has in common the billion-dollar question. What's next?
Let's see if you respond.
Where do I go from here? What does this experience we call life have to offer? The experience is awaiting new people to
Okay. Watching your vids right now, lol. Okay.
connect with, places to explore, new foods to try, micro moments that we didn't realize would impact the rest of our lives.
That's cool.
These are just some of the thoughts that went through my head when I finally stepped on that stage for myself and got handed my high school diploma. Because I most certainly did not want to end up like those people that peaked in high school, where that moment was the pinnacle of their life. And
here's the problem. If you're trying not to peak in high school, you kind of metaphorically already did. So like that itself is a paradox.
Everything else just went downhill from there. Because I absolutely did not want to go to college. I already struggle enough staying consistent with schoolwork.
You don't want to go to college?
Absolutely unmatched hatred for school and the school system in general. If I could, I would go back and bomb every school in America and replace them with. So as the graduation parties went on and all the congratulations came and went, along with pretty much everyone I knew disappearing into college, the ever-growing realization.
By the way, I don't want to be Mr. Cool Guy. All right, I didn't celebrate my graduation, and then after I graduated from like community, I didn't even attend the thing just because it doesn't really interest me, to be honest. Like, it doesn't really interest me, so I kind of get it, but you know, you kind of gotta live the lifestyle if you really want to talk about the lifestyle. I just didn't get. Dude, I've never even mentioned that I skipped college graduation.
But yeah, I'm an adult now. I'm not a kid anymore. Just took over
my
mind. Like, man, I can.
He looks like me, bro. He looks like a baby.
I want now. I can sign up to anything, and I don't have to lie about my age anymore. So naturally, as anyone would, I started looking for opportunities that may arise. Like, what jobs are out there? And of course, I was looking for the highest paying ones, because you know, as a broke kid straight out of high school, that's what you naturally would do. And as I was searching through job opportunities, a pattern began to And as I was searching through job opportunities, a pattern became more and more apparent as I searched. Physical labor-focused jobs, more specifically factory and warehouse jobs. The pay may not have been as great as somewhere else, but what they lack in hourly wage, they more than made up for it in the hours you're allowed to work. Especially when overtime and broke young people.
Why would people like that? I've always thought about that. Why do people want to work extra hours? That just makes no sense. Pick a high-paying job, work as few hours as possible, and then grind on your hobbies, or at least for me, grind on YouTube. That's what I would always do. I remember getting a job at Chipotle for a YouTube video, like, can you get a six-pack or some shit, eating fast food, and I worked 1 day a week, 3 hours max, because that's like as low as they would let me go.
What the fuck? So as a broke kid, fresh out of...
I would pull up and get the free Chipotle food. I'm friends with everyone, so when I come in there, I pay $2 for like a double steak bowl. Oh my God, the good days, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Everyone I knew disappearing into college. I worked my ass off to make more money.
Yeah, bro, just pick a high-paying job.
The norm. 10 hours.
Yeah, it actually is that easy. I don't know if you actually realize that. It is that easy. If you have no skills, then just become a server and get paid off of tips. But you don't go work at fucking Applebee's, you dumb fuck. Instead, you go work at a high-paying, or excuse me, a high-end restaurant, and you get paid up to $2,000, $3,000, $3,000 a fucking week. Just serving people food. It's a low-skill, minimum-wage job, but the tips is what makes up the difference. Dumbass. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm being so serious. That's how you make money.
Hours a day, every
just pick
single
a high-paying
day. I
job.
To work at like around like 7:30, 8 in the
yeah,
morning.
no
and
wonder,
I stay
bro.
there, all the way up until like
no wonder.
6 o'clock. That's when it's been 10 hours, and that's when I leave because I'm trying to get at the fat check. Even picking up weekend shifts whenever those were available. If I didn't get overtime, I failed basically. And I did this for like 3 months straight, constantly going into work at 7:30 in the morning, and I wouldn't leave till 6 p.m. at night. And when you're someone trying to stack up and save as much money as possible while trying to spend as little as possible,
job searching.
Costco hot dogs.
This guy, man, this guy always trying to flex and brag how rich he is.
Because for $1.50, they give you like a foot-long hot dog with a drink. You just can't beat that at all.
So
and it's not like,
does he go to
there
college?
must be a reason why they're $1.50. They're actually really good quality hot dogs for what you're getting. But eventually...
So he's not in college. This guy's a college dropout.
Actually, it just got old. Living this way gave me no social life at all. I would be asked if I can hang out.
Check this
and
out.
I would
Does
always
he
have
live
to
by
say no.
himself?
I have work that day in the morning. And it's not like life on
This
the
guy's on
other
the
side
grind.
with my friends was like the greatest thing ever either. Because I would always like look into the group chats, the senior group chat, and I would always see all my friends struggling. It's like, man, I have this work, I have this project due.
Okay, let's see. After graduating, the narrator rejects college and jumps into a full-time... Wow, so he's not going to college. Wow. Grinding 50 to 60 hours a week for 3 months, about 2,000... What? Only 2,000 a month? What? Living frugally, Costco dogs, and juggling a solo YouTube grind. What? Work life feels isolating, coworkers are much older, commutes and traffic is brutal, and it's easy to get stuck for years without a backup plan. Big lesson. Have plan A, plan B. Don't let a first job become a life sentence. Okay, very good. Be smart with money. Avoid debt traps like expensive cars and accept that life is unfair. Okay. Treat it like a game you learn to play. Okay, I agree. They note pressure to attend college. Parents pure failure. Insist success depends on fit and planning more than the path. And end with a tongue-in-cheek tease about $1 billion secret. What does that mean? Yeah, that's not a lot. 2K a month? I was literally talking about 2K a week with the server jobs.
Like tomorrow, and I'm working at 3 a.m. just to get it done, then I would always see like my professor sucks. I hate him. He doesn't even teach the class at all. And I was just kind of there on the opposite end, just like working full time. I mean, I was making pretty good money. I mean, like good money for my age at least. I was making like $2,000 a month, which I mean, it's not like anything like incredible, but it's like it's a lot better than going from like $200 to $0 a month. So I was living it up. I was balling.
Well, I mean, I do live in a very expensive state, but yeah, I know server jobs pay a lot of money. That's like the whole point, and it's literally no skill. What the fuck? That's kind of crazy.
I truly was on my grind. I also had YouTube as well. I was still working on this YouTube channel. And keep in mind, I do literally everything on.
There we go. This is what I'm talking about, bro. Now, this is a real comment. Someone says, "Can y'all give any feedback? What do I do in my life?" if I only rot in my bedroom and play video games and I've been alone since 12 and work at an Amazon factory, bro. Oh my God, man. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is so sad. That is so sad, bro. That is so fucking sad, bro. Dude, let's be honest. That is the most bullshit. You're bullshitting your entire lifestyle because you already know what to do. You don't need to ask chat. Oh, start a drop shipping business. Oh man, scam grandmas, become an Indian. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on. It's very obvious. You already know what to do. Like, this guy works at Amazon. Like, you already know what to do, bro. You're not dumb. You just don't. You like to pretend you don't have answers in your own life. Be for real.
My own. Even this video, I'm editing all of it on my own. I do everything. I do my scripting, I do my thumbnails, I do my editing, all of it. Especially like, oh my gosh, some of these videos will take me so long to make. I kid you not, sometimes I would literally be just editing one video for an entire week. But I don't know.
Oh, this is sad.
Weird. High school was strange. I hated high school so much with a passion. It's just a lot of the people that you sat with for years. You think like, that's my best friend, dude. That's my ride or die. Just to like never speak with them ever again. And I feel like it's not really that much different like for people in college. Like you're in college, right? And it's a different kind of suffering. It's like with college, you still at least have a social life. You have everyone around you that's your age. But
he's never been to college. He's assuming right now.
When you're fresh out of high school, working just straight into the workforce industry, not only is like pretty much no one your age, everyone's like in their mid-30s, mid-40s, even 50s.
What do you do? How do you get a better job? Holy fucking shit. Apply to jobs with good money, have a good resume, interview well, and you'll get a good job. It is that simple, bro. It is literally that simple. Never search up how to get money on the internet. I searched up once and I got the most BS answers. That's not even true, bro. That's not even true. Yeah, like seriously, bro. There's so many ways to make money. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? You get your truck driver's license? Yeah, or just like go into debt and gamble. That's an option too.
Everyone is old. It's like I can't relate to anyone. And then everyone at the workplace, they would see me. It's like, oh my gosh, you're so young. How could you possibly be tired on 4 hours of sleep? What? It's like, I don't know. Old people think we're like invincible or something. It's like they make it seem like I can take a bullet to the head. And
I feel bad for this guy, man. But it has been a while ago, so hopefully things are better, right? His YouTube channel is doing better, I'm assuming.
And just like get up and walk away like if nothing ever happened. But I feel like for people in college, it's just, I feel like that suffering is just delayed. It's like you're still suffering. You're being, like, I always hear like,
oh my God, this video is like actually so fucking negative and sad. I hope he's not like this. I mean, I don't know.
Broke college student. I'm a broke college student. I can't afford anything. Really I'm in debt. It's what I hear all the time. And I mean, it's true. That's kind of like the stereotype. It's like you have to go into debt pretty much to go into college unless you have like all these scholarships and everything like that, which I didn't have. But I mean, like, it's not like I couldn't get a scholarship either.
Yeah, I was literally thinking that. If you have a 3.5, you're good on the scholarships. And 3.5 isn't even crazy.
Graduated high school with AB honor roll. I had like a 3.5 GPA, which is not the greatest in the world. I
agree.
It's not bad either. It's actually pretty decent.
Tassels.
But it's just like,
bro, this guy's hilarious.
Going from being a kid to like
thank God, man. I finally have some validation. Yeah, we're putting this 1.5, not 2. It's too fast, but because I'm sure not a lot of people watching 2x, but
fully grown adult. Like I have my own responsibilities. I pay like my own stuff. I still live with my parents.
That's good. Oh, that's good.
Obviously, with the economy right now, there's absolutely no way I can afford to live on my own. But that's the thing, really. Like you can come into a job, work, and make so much money. Like as you're young, because you know, still living with your parents and everything, making like $2,000, maybe even $3,000 a month, and you have like no bills to pay. Maybe you have like a car payment, gas, insurance, something, whatever. Like you can afford to eat out every single day because there's like no other money like going out the door. You don't have big bills, or I'd assume you don't. But that's the thing with big bills. It's becoming pretty much impossible to move out and like have your own life nowadays because of the economy and inflation and stuff like that. It's not as it used to be. You can't just pick up a job and then be able to move out of your parents' house unless you're moving in with roommates. Because that's how it is now. That's the reality. You need, unless you're making so much money to where it doesn't matter, you need to like rent with someone else, and then that comes with its own problems where that person doesn't pay the rent, and then you have to like wear the boots of the house, and if that doesn't work out,
why is this guy even talking about this? He doesn't struggle with this.
You need a backup plan when going into a job. Because fresh out of high school, it's like, I'm so ambitious. I want to like make all this money. I'm going to work so hard. I'm going to make all this money, and that's fine and all. That's perfectly fine.
Yo, this guy's a doomer. Oh my gosh. This is an old video though, so let's see how he's going recently, right? So it says I watched this video. I skipped around. Okay. Include paid promotion. Oh my God, he's got a generational deal with Tej, bro. Shout out to this guy.
honey, you gotta take out the trash.
Has anyone else noticed the increase in just the overall amount of people being weird today? If you log out of your account, it seems like every other post on social media is just some kind of thirst trap. And don't even think about opening those comments.
Wow, he is
either.
logged
It's become
out.
so
That's crazy.
easy to see certain things now that anyone with an internet connection can access them. And I mean literally anyone. You know, something that used to only be able to be seen after you've built a deep emotional bond with someone is now only a quick Google search on a lonely night. Why has it been made so easy now? Are we just destroying everyone for the sake of profit, or is there a secret agenda going on here? Guys, you need to stop gooning. Stop. Oh my gosh. Stop doing that. That's so disgusting. Ew. Oh my gosh. Just got caught lacking.
All right, skipping.
Very cool. But I'll have you know that you are actually extremely wrong, because you know how there's a whole rank system on Jerkmate? You see, I'm a secret rank above them all. I have the secret rank. I'm actually the Goon God rank. That's right, guys. Get it right, Tectone. I'm not a novice tier gooner. I'm the Goon God himself. But anyways, you ever notice how some guys have really smooth hands? Well, there's a good reason for that. People notice this type of person whether they want to deflect it with every excuse they have in the
Okay, so this is just like a troll having fun type of video. I like it. All right, we're gonna call the guy, bro. I think that's enough watching. Let's check it. Let's review my notes before we do though. So he has rich parents and he values schoolwork, but it left him a bad impression. So he doesn't go to college. Maybe, I don't know. That's an old video. Maybe he's Christian. Probably not because of his age. He wanted to spark a conversation with someone. What would he say? Imagine I am a girl. Gym bro. Okay. All right, bro. Let's see if we cook with this, man. Let's see if anything. Bro, I'm gonna forget all of this. Okay, let's call this guy, bro. Where's my call button? There it is. I'm gonna turn on the face cam. Give me a second. Yeah. How do I turn this off? Here we go. Up and ready. Where do you get, dude? Just search it up. Hello?
Whoa.
Hey, Noth. Wait, how do I pronounce it? Oh, can you also turn on your face cam?
Oh, yeah.
All good, bro. All good.
Yeah, it should just be not. Okay, hold on. I think that's the wrong camera. Hold on. I need to change my camera.
Yeah, take your time, bro.
Okay. It's doing the wrong one.
Here we go.
At the right one? There we go. Okay, that's a better looking one. I don't know why it's so dark in this room.
It's all good, bro. It's all good.
I swear I'm professional.
No, it's all good.
Shit. I'm sorry.
You're good, man.
That should be a bit better now. Okay, what's up?
Hello, Noth. How are you?
I'm doing good, and you? Well, actually, I'm a little congested right now. I'm not sure if you can tell from my voice. I was just sick for like the last 2 days, but we're good. We're good though.
Great.
So what's up, man? How have you
I'm
been?
doing great. I'm live right now, and I just watched like a good amount of your videos, kind of speed ran them a little bit. And
oh goodness. Oh god.
And by the way, what do you think about your own videos? Like, how do you feel about them when you post them? And like,
it's a mix. It's really a big mix for me, because some of them, I'd have to show you some of my timelines, because these videos take a long time to make. I'm not sure if it's like evident. Yeah,
I could tell
evident when watching the video, but some of these, like, each video takes like 2 weeks alone just to make a single one.
Right.
Not like recording or anything, because I can record and have the whole video just done in just one afternoon. Okay. It's just editing that takes forever, because I don't really like to script a lot of my content, because I don't know, I feel like it adds too much time and it doesn't feel as authentic, if that makes sense. So I would like to think I'm pretty proud of each upload, because I care a lot about the videos that I put out there, because I don't like to put out something that's just bad. If you know what I mean, because I always know there's like that random chance that, you know, anyone, even you, just like some random person could just click on my videos and they'll just see that one video, like the one video that's like terrible that I put no effort into, and just think, okay, that's his entire channel, just low effort.
Okay, and by the way, I watched a few of your old videos as well, and you said in the past ones you did script. Is like not scripting something recent you started incorporating in your videos?
It's more like half and half. So I think my really old videos, I did script those, because that was still like the experimental phase of my channel.
Right.
Because like I still didn't really know exactly what I was doing at all. But there is like some scripting. So if you notice the parts where I just have like the talking floating head of me, those parts are scripted, because that's typically something that I added in later.
Okay.
Because I'll watch back a lot of my videos in editing just to make sure like everything flows right and that it makes sense. And I'll get to a part and I just think, man, this this does not make sense at all. Like, what the heck am I talking about? So then I have to like go in and add like an extra 2 minutes of talking, which usually fixes the problem.
Okay. Okay, cool. So we're just going to skip the whole like boring YouTuber conversation. And I watched a few of your videos.
Right.
I'm assuming you don't go to college, or have you enrolled in college as of recent?
I did not go to college.
Right. So what's the lifestyle you're living right now?
So basically, I'm not sure if you watched my Life After High School video. Oh, sorry, I just tapped my
I
mic.
did. I was literally just watching it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
100%.
that's basically like the whole lore of, you know, like basically the life that I'm living right now. Is that I was full time when I made that video, but now thankfully I'm not anymore. I'm only part time. Thanks because of YouTube, it allows me to make a decent amount of money to not need to like I'm sorry, I can't speak.
You're good, bro.
To not
You're
really
good.
need the full time like occupation of working. So thankfully that has definitely helped me a lot. But basically it's part time work, and then after that it's just straight up YouTube. That's basically been my life recently.
And by the way, what's your goals with YouTube? Is it just like make a living off of it?
I think that's really everyone's goal if you think about it, right? Because like, what's the main reason everyone starts a YouTube channel is to eventually use it to live off of or quit their current job so that they can sustain themselves fully online, to have that freedom. But for me, yes, it is basically the same thing. I do want to eventually go full-time YouTube, but it's more of, I'm pretty sure what you're asking is like, what is the goal of my channel? Like, am I trying to inspire people or?
No, not
is
at
it just
all.
solely
Not
just
at
for
all,
me?
bro. Not at all. If it's about
Oh damn!
money,
I was going
fuck
way into,
no, bro.
I was getting
Fuck-
too deep into that.
No. Like, you can answer as deep or as shallow as you want. I only ask because, is it to make money? And you know, your response gives a lot of like where your thought process is. Because for many people, or at least for me, I started a YouTube channel not because I want to like quit a job, X, Y, and Z. The whole idea is to build an audience so I can direct them towards like a business I plan on creating later down the line. And it's more and better leverage, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I've seen that many times with a lot of different creators that I used to watch.
100%.
So typically, yes. Okay, so short answer, yes, YouTube is mainly just for money. But the long-term answer is I do really want to like build a deep connection with my audience. That's at least what I try to do. I'm not sure if it like comes off the same way like during my videos, especially with all like the brain rot. Because I would like to think I'm the exact same way in my videos as I am in person. Because I mean, well, it's not there right now in my calendar, but I normally like to put like a bunch of stupid shit in there.
Yeah, I see
But
it.
typically, I'm just kind of rambling.
You're good. You're good.
It's like, I do really want to have like that deep connection with people, you know, because I'm really struggling. Oh my gosh.
No, you're good. You're good, bro.
So, hold on. Let me think of this.
Yeah, take your time.
Okay. So, it's more of going out and seeing people experiencing the exact same thing that I'm experiencing, because you know how like you're on that grind, like you're on that journey trying to achieve your goals on one specific thing, and it feels like the world is just trying everything against you to stop you, and it's just you all alone trying to achieve that. That's basically what I like to try to idealize, is that like we experience a lot of these things, but it can feel like we're alone. And that's what I'm trying to trying to get across to people, is that we're not alone, and that there's a lot of people going through the same thing. Basically, is that we're not special, basically.
Perfect. By the way, I completely understand the point you're trying to make. It's that maybe you're trying to empathize with other people who have been in tough situations. They feel lonely. And ideally, your channel is there as a way to make themselves feel better, making the world a better place, and also make yourself happy and rich. And my question to you is, because you're constantly talking about, or at the very least relating to these negative moments in people's lives, you would have to be thinking about negative moments a lot. So do you think that's like a good thing long term, to constantly think about these negative things for the sake of making other people relate and feel good?
Yes and no at the same time, because essentially a lot of people now, like, we really love to just avoid thinking about everything, like escaping our emotions with scrolling or playing video games or whatever we like to do. But rarely ever, like, how often do you see people just sitting there with their thoughts, just like taking their demons head on, basically? That's what I feel like would be like a bit more beneficial if you actually just went and faced the challenge head on rather than just not doing anything about it at all, just delaying it. You know, it's kind of like when people have hangovers, and instead of just experiencing the hangover and getting it over with, they just drink more alcohol to prolong it.
Yeah. And by the way,
Basically.
Nath, my question to you is, are you lonely?
No, not really.
Tell me about it. I've watched a few of your videos, and you talked about after high school, you were friends with people, you thought you guys were ride or dies, but then afterwards, you kind of realized you guys were only friends because of environment. So I'm curious.
Right.
Yeah.
So friendship-wise, I feel like I'm really lucky because I've had this one buddy of mine who we've been friends for over 10 years now. Like, I've met him back in 4th grade. I can actually call him up right now. He's like, we're still like really good friends to this day.
Okay, that's good.
So I think if it wasn't for him, I would definitely be more on the lonely side because of him, I have a social life, basically. Because he's introduced me to a lot of his friend group, and I become friends with a lot of them. And then on the other hand of that, there's also been like the whole dating aspect, if you mean that, like if we're
Sure.
not just talking about friends. So, I mean, there is someone that I am talking to right now. Spoiler, they might actually be in the stream. Who knows?
Really?
I may or may not have told them about it.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, there's a lot of those aspects, but if we're talking like day to day, it can feel lonely, especially when you're in the grind, just solely just going to work, coming back from work, and then just doing even more work at home with just doing YouTube videos. So in that sense, yes, but I mean, short answer, no. I don't feel lonely, me personally, but it can feel like that,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Honestly, Nath, that's really good to hear that you're not lonely. Sounds like you have a good support system around you. And what's your day-to-day like? Because I'm assuming it's wake up, go gym, go work, come home, edit, maybe hang out with friends once in a while. So I'd love to know like what your day-to-day is.
So day to day, it's very different for each day. I don't have like a set schedule, but it's like certain things that I like to get done during that time frame of the day. So if it's like a work day, I'll wake up, go to work, come home, maybe edit a video, but trying to edit videos, I'm not sure if you've also experienced this, but like trying to edit a video after coming home after a long day of just doing not that is like the most difficult thing on your mind ever. Like I'm not sure if I sound crazy here, but coming home from a 10-hour shift just to do even more work, like 2 to 3 hours even more while editing, which is a very creative, like mentally taxing thing on your brain. It's not exactly, ideal at the very end of the day, especially when you're trying to relax. Now you're being forced to just use your brain again. But on the days where I don't, it's typically wake up, I go to my closet over there because I have like a secret stash of energy drinks. I pop one, then I just start editing for like 5 hours straight.
No, wait. What's your sleep schedule looking like if you're drinking like energy drinks after a 10-hour
God.
shift?
Oh, geez. Sometimes it's actually decently healthy. So
Okay.
I typically go to bed around like 10 or 11. There is some times where
shit.
I do stay up a little later with friends playing games.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
I'll probably go to bed at like 1. But typically, I'll wake up at around like 6 or 7 in the morning and then maybe
Right.
pop an energy drink like very early because definitely if I do it after 2 p.m., like I'm not falling asleep that night.
And
So,
go ahead. Oh no, go ahead.
Oh no, I was basically done.
No. During the conversation, a lot of things popped up in my head of like things I want to ask. I'll list a few and then just pick the one you find most interesting for you to answer. It seems like you're working a lot. It seems like there's a lot of effort. I'm very curious how you convince yourself to keep on going. At the same time, like, I'm also curious about long-term goals, right? So imagine the best case scenario. Fuck your job, you make hella money, you created that haven of YouTube where people feel lonely and great, and you have like a baddie, maybe that girl that's watching right now next to you. Now, a lot of questions. Answer whatever you want. Like how you stay motivated, or what happens long term once you accomplish everything.
Okay, so staying motivated for me is like a very complicated one, because I think we all get this. I have these thoughts basically every single day of I should just quit YouTube and just maybe find another job that'll pay me more, because this month YouTube has not been very good. I don't even think I'm gonna hit payout this month because my latest video got demonetized. So
I know, I saw that.
There's that.
Wait, you got sponsored though. You got sponsored for that videos.
I do. They have me signed for. Actually, I'm not sure if I'm really allowed to talk about that. But
Oh, really?
I am signing a contract.
Yeah. If you didn't sign an NDA, you could say, but if you want to keep it private, you know, it's funny. I was talking to Chold earlier, like a few weeks ago maybe, and he told me how much he was getting paid for. He had 2 videos, and it was for between, I'm okay, take it back. It wasn't Chold. It was between $0 to $200. Okay, it was in that price range. So it was.
I mean, that does sound very typical for creators around our size.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Did you talk to anyone about like what your price is, by chance?
Yes, actually, it was a representative that reached out to me. So it was actually that exact same amount, but I'm not gonna say the exact amount now because I am under a contract. I don't think I'm allowed to. So initially we got on a call, and then I convinced him to up the rate.
That's good.
And that's about as much as I can really say.
Ah,
but
that's interesting because no, I just want to let you know. I also talked to like some social media manager guy who like owns an agency. I just hit him up once in a while. Is that here's my sub count and my first sponsorship deal. I'm just letting you know. You can probably get paid more. My first sponsorship deal, I was around your size, like 23,000. Ask the guys like, how much should I get paid? He says, for a video, like 30-second segment, it's around $300 to $1,000. So it's actually a lot more than you think. Just to let you know.
Damn.
Yeah.
For 30 seconds? Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just let you know. So, you know, information is money. Information is king. But now, moving forward, let's say you actually accomplish everything, right? What would you do? Like, seriously.
Well, first things first, I would definitely pay off my parents' mortgage because that's definitely like a big goal of mine.
Mm-hmm.
So free up my family just so they have more time so that they can, you know, actually experience life. And then just live my life, really. You know, maybe go on to like a few vacations and then really continue to make videos. Because if I'm still going, if I've already achieved it, then why stop? Because that's YouTube is basically the only thing I see myself doing. Like, I don't really see myself working a regular job. I mean, I could if YouTube doesn't work out. Like, I do have a plan B. But it's more like I don't want to resort to plan B, if you know what I mean. Because like, I want to do YouTube.
Sure. Well, what's the plan B, by the way?
Plan B is get my IT certification and then just get a job in IT.
Oh, okay. It's a good plan.
It's very, very, very basic, very simple, but it's safe. It works. So, I mean, going back to the... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Something?
No, go ahead, man.
Okay, so I was going to go back to the feeling motivated part. So, I think a big thing for me is that I got very lucky with how I stay motivated. Is that... I mentioned this in, like, a few other videos, but I never, like, went into detail. And that is... I actually had a different online career before I did this YouTube channel. And that was, I used to stream on Twitch. Like before, back when I was like 15 till I turned 18. Like I was decently successful on Twitch where I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot now, but at the time I was top 1% on Twitch with 30 average viewers. I know, crazy.
That's good. Sounds good to me.
But I mean, that was like my early form of seeing I could actually do something online. Like I could actually create content that people enjoy. And along with the fact that every time that I was in school, a lot of people would say that I just had like an announcer type of voice. So that's always like stuck with me. Like I could do something. Like there was something unique about me. Like I have this voice that has been compared to Leafy and Chills a lot. number 15. Like, a lot of those. But that's just always stuck with me, that I've had that brief success in the past. Like, I did it once. Who's to say I can't do it again? So that was basically what really started the whole YouTube thing for me, and how I really stay motivated. And mainly it's just that a lot of my motivation for YouTube is that one, like, gambling meme, if you know.
Yeah,
like
the mining.
You know, the one with the guy who's like mining for diamonds, and then he quits like
Internet anarchist. He's in the chat. You know who the guy is?
Wait, what?
Internet anarchist.
Internet anarchist? Yeah, I know him.
Yeah. Well, you know You know what's funny? Every time I go live and it's directly focused towards like YouTube content, that's where I met the social media manager. And you know Jack Piggott, right? You definitely do.
I do. I've talked to him before in the past.
Yeah. He was also in chat. So, you know, every single time I always like have a focus towards the live stream. It always attracts like YouTubers that come by. Completely irrelevant. And sorry for interrupting you, but you know the Duke Dennis clip?
No, completely valid. I would have done the same thing.
I'm being so serious. You know the Duke Dennis clip where he was like that to some girl?
I think so.
the guy that was interviewing Duke Dennis was also in the chat. He was like, "Yo, what's good, bro?" But so
what the heck?
I know it's completely random. You meet a lot of like random people on live stream. It's like a wider reach, or maybe there's more interactivity. But you don't think you're successful now? You said back in the day when you were Twitch streaming, you were successful and you can attain it again. Could you elaborate more on that?
So, I do like think back to that a lot, but it's more of, I do think I'm successful now because I have a lot more than when I started. Like, I was definitely having those thoughts like when I had like 1,000 subscribers before like my high school video blew up, to where I could just quit right now, no one would ever know, but then I would be disappointed in myself that I gave up. Because no one else knows that I'm doing this whole YouTube thing except for me. And I don't want to give up on myself, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to let myself down. Just being another thing that I try to commit to, you know, like when a fat person tries to lose weight and they just give up after like a week. Kind of like that. And so now seeing as I've hit a number of views and I'm gaining money from YouTube, it's more or less I have this expectation from, you know, a few thousand people now to just make videos and keep on going. Well, I'm also like obligated now to upload at least, you know, a certain amount of content every month because of the sponsor. But I mean, that's something else entirely. No, but yeah, it's mainly just, it only takes one video on YouTube to just completely change your life.
Sure. And, you know, I've watched a few of your videos about high school, about college, and at least to me, it said you struggled a lot about grades, and it seems like back then you also cared about like people's opinions about you, as in what your peers thought, social skills. How are you handling that now compared to your videos back then?
I think it's honestly gotten worse, if I'm being honest with you.
Seriously?
A little bit. So, okay.
It's my stream.
There will be times
Internet anarchist, watch my Kanye video.
I just don't
watch my Kanye video. It's peak.
Into the Noth channel for like 2 weeks. Like, that happened just recently where I just did not log in for 2 weeks, mainly because whenever the stats go down, that's mainly where you see all like the negative comments start coming in. Because people mainly see the top comments on videos, you know, like the most liked ones. But what no one talks about is that when you, the creator, open your comments section, you only see all the recent ones. You don't see all the top comments. So you're seeing like all like the stupid people, you could say, saying like, this content is bad, like you suck, you need to quit right now. And I feel like sometimes that kind of gets to me in a way to where, you know, I'm not getting as much views as I used to. I feel like my videos aren't hitting anymore. But it's like, I always know that you can always turn around with one video. I've seen so many channels be like dead in the water. Like, they had a high month and then they went all the way down for like a good 5 years. And out of nowhere, they like shot back up and got 100,000 subscribers in 1 month.
But by the way, what did you think my question was about?
how the negativity like affects you, basically.
Yeah, I was talking, or at least for me, I was mentioning more about like the outside social aspect, right? Because do people?
Oh, that's right. I completely went off
No,
track.
no, dude, you're completely good. You're completely good. Is there any FOMO because you decided not to even attend college in the first place? Is there any FOMO about, people you see living their lives, going to college, like a completely different lifestyle than what you chose to live?
Oh, absolutely, all the time. It's like I see people in college, especially like since I live 5 minutes away from one of the biggest universities in my state. So I definitely
I have to
see
be
that bunch
professional,
of college
guys.
people all the
I'm not
time.
gonna like run
But
around and get scared.
It's more my best friend that I've known for over 10 years that I mentioned earlier. He's taking the typical college route, so he'll always take me onto campus a lot. And I always see everyone walking around. Hold on.
You're good.
Sorry about that. I always see everyone walking around, and I'm just thinking, I could do this same thing. Like, I could be just like another one of these people walking around, but I'm doing my own thing. So in a sense, yes, I do feel like I'm missing out sometimes in social aspects, as what if, if I were to be in college, I could be making more friends right now. But then also there's that fact that I'm an adult now. I made this decision. This is all me. Like, there's no going back now. I could just go to college, like just a late start if I really wanted to, but I've already committed to this path. Like, I've already gone this far. I've seen some success. I've grown my channel to over 20,000 subscribers, like just me alone. So it's more or less, I kind of have to keep going now because now everyone knows about my channel. So now it's going to be, dude, why'd you quit? Like, why'd you quit? You were so successful. You had 20K on YouTube. You had sponsors getting thousands of views. So yeah.
No,
Basically.
go ahead. No, I was gonna say I'm a little confused. And by the way, I'm not like advocate for going to college, but you can. Realistically, you can go to college and also do YouTube, right? I dropped out of college, so I obviously value spending more of my time towards YouTube. But why are you saying that if you do go to college, you'd have to quit? Why is it like an ultimatum? Is this a thought process you use to convince yourself in like day-to-day life, or is it just for this situation?
It's mainly because I don't want to be in debt. That's like the short answer.
Right.
Like I just can't have debt.
And what's the thought process with going to like community and then getting financial aid? If you know like the whole process.
It's that right. It's that college for me, school already took up so much of my time, like back when I was doing Twitch. And that's already like low effort. You just turn on stream and just sit there and play video games or do whatever for like 2 hours. But then with YouTube, like editing requires so much creative mental power that if I have to divert my focus anywhere else towards doing schoolwork or any other work that I know is just that basically just pisses me off that I have to do it, because like, you remember senior year of high school when, like, I'm sure you definitely got it too, like when you had senioritis of just like, dude, like, fuck this, I just want to leave right now, like, I'm so done with this, I don't need any of this. I feel like that's going to be the exact same thing that I feel if I were to go to college. If I have all of these courses that are being taught to me that I know aren't going to be useful, and it's just diverting my attention away even more from YouTube. To whereas if I just chose not to go, I can divert even more of my attention towards YouTube. If that makes sense.
Yeah. There's just like a lot of thoughts in my head because, at least for me, I graduated from community college and then transferred to a university because to me it made sense. I'd rather not work a job, and for at least in California, when you go to community, you get paid around, I think it's $10,000 or $20,000 a year to go to community. So I was watching your video and you were talking about you working at like a full-time construction job or whatever, and you're getting $2K a month. And I was curious if you even knew that going to community and getting financial aid was an option where you could pretty much do two things at once.
That's not an option for me.
Oh,
like
rich
with the
parents?
grades that I had, like that no, definitely not rich at all, dude. I'm I'm so fucking broke right now.
I don't get it. So you went to a private school, but you also
Dude, my parents paid for it. Dude, we're middle class. We're not rich at all.
Right. Okay. Well, I went to private school too, so I'm creating a little bit of relatability here. But that's very interesting.
Did you also only have like 20 students in your class?
I'll be honest. I remember going to private school, and I was like, fuck private school. I went to public school, and then I transferred back to private school, and then I left private school again. So I was like flip-flopping a lot. But yeah, when you do go to private school, it's pretty much the same people you see over and over again. There's no specialty or anything.
Right. Sorry, my headphones are about to die.
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're good. I'm so, honestly, Nath, I'm very confused about you. I actually have no idea, like, who you are as a person, just because I see your videos and it seems like you care a lot about external like opinions, or at least it's how it's presented, but it's completely different when I'm talking to you. So you say that in your videos you try to make it very authentic, it's unscripted. Now I'm confused. So like I'd love some insight.
So hold on, I'm confused on what you mean now. So you say I seem like a different person while being talked to, but then my videos give off like a completely different image.
Exactly. So when I watched a few of your videos, right, I think I watched like 4 or 5 in the live stream. I didn't watch the entirety. I also like ChatGPT summarized it, but
oh my goodness, that's a lot. Okay.
yeah. But
for my videos, okay.
Yeah. But the ones that I did watch, you created this struggle of being in school, right? The FOMO of going to college, the drama that is involved in going to a private school, and not being able to escape from it. And we pretty much have similar experiences in that case, but talking to you right now, it seems like you don't care.
Well, mainly in a sense, a lot of the stuff is played up for the YouTube video itself. Like I kind of need to have a narrative, but a lot of it is true. But I think the reason why it seems like I don't care is because this was almost like 3 years ago now. Mm-hmm. The stuff that I'm talking about. So I'm talking about stuff that happened a while ago, but I also need to play it up for the YouTube video. Now, that doesn't mean that it's fake, because it is real. But it's more of the entertainment factor of what it is.
Yeah, I completely understand. You kind of got to over-exaggerate stuff. If you watch any drama video, they'll really, really over-exaggerate just to capture people's attention. It's kind of the game you have to play, or at least that's how you present it and that's how you work it. Do you feel like you're obligated for anyone or anything at the current moment? So like obviously ignoring the sponsorship, you have to do a few videos for them. Is there any other obligations you feel like you owe? Maybe obligations towards yourself, your parents, people you gotta prove wrong?
I think my parents, really, because like I'm sure both you and I, like we're both living at home with our parents.
Correct.
So me being here and I'm not going to college, I'm not pursuing an education. I'm sorry, I'm so congested right now.
You're good, bro.
So I personally feel like I have this pressure that I need to succeed no matter what. Like I need to make this work or else I feel like I'm going to be a disappointment to my parents. Because I'm staying here, but to them, I'm not working towards anything like special, really.
What?
So
okay.
No, okay. They don't see it that way. Like they don't see that I'm working on YouTube. They just see that I go to my job part-time and then I just come back and just do like fuck all in my room. That's basically what they see. Okay. But it's more or less I feel like I have to succeed no matter what, or else I'm just gonna be that guy of just look at that guy, he's a disappointment. He tried YouTube and failed. Of course I do have that plan B, but it's more of how dare I sit here in my room and not use this opportunity that I've created for myself, that my parents have given me, to try and pursue my dreams.
Mm-hmm. And do you spin it up that way as a way to motivate yourself?
Yes, definitely. Especially on the days where I just cannot be freaking bothered to open up Premiere Pro.
Okay. And by the way, Nath, I apologize for interrupting. Internet Anarchist said he'd join this. So Internet Anarchist, join the Discord, message me privately, and then we can set it up. Or you can even join right now. That'd be hella fun and impromptu.
That would be something.
Yeah, but I don't think he shows his face, right?
I mean, I think he does now in the beginning of his videos.
Really? I haven't watched it.
I've seen a few of them.
And I'm assuming in your real life you see people that are also trying to do social media, and you're kind of there, but like not at the same time.
Right.
And is there anyone more successful than you? Are there people that are trying? How do you view them?
So
You do face cam. Message me, internet anarchist. Let's get this going. I can do it as soon as now. Like,
yes.
All right, but go ahead.
Dude, let's get a 3-way call. Actually, you know what? Just kick me out. Dude, like, fuck no.
No, dude.
Get
No.
internet
You're
anarchism.
invited, man. You're invited.
No, but I'm sorry. What was the question again? I just blanked.
Yeah, the question is, I see people in my real life as well doing social media, attempting to do social media, and it's a completely different perspective, right? Because everyone else, at least from the outside looking in, I'm sure, do people know that you do social media? Like a few friends, I'm assuming?
Some people do, yeah.
Yeah. So like when you start, there's that weird pressure, you'll get semi-hate, you get passive aggressiveness, you also get a lot of support. But we have a different perspective because we're doing social media. We're not all the way there yet, but we're also not just starting off. So
Right.
So it's a unique perspective. Do you have anyone you know that's bigger than you in terms of numbers? Do you know anyone that's smaller, and how do you view them?
So, in my personal life, no. Like, I am the biggest creator that I know in my circle of people around me.
Right.
But I do have like this one acquaintance. We don't really talk too much anymore. But if you know who Cal Shrimp is, he's a guy that does like, he's also like a fellow Asian dude. He does like Omegle Riz videos.
Oh my
That's
God.
what he got really big for.
Okay.
Yeah, like the Riz face, like, like a bunch of that.
Okay.
He has like almost 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Like we've talked to each other a few times. Like we ran into each other at parties randomly.
What the fuck? Okay.
But yeah, no, literally, because like we live in like the same general area, so it's more of when you see someone with a bigger sub count than you, it's like it's very arbitrary because we see people with higher number as just higher status. You know, especially like internet anarchists. Like, dude has like almost 2 million subscribers. It's like, dude, holy shit, this guy's here. But I mean, that's just normal, though. That's just how stuff is. Like, bigger number just means people treat you differently, especially in like circumstances like that. Because I definitely see it in real life. Because when people go around him, like everyone is always trying to talk to him. Like this guy, like he's like the guy to talk to you. Like almost 1 million on YouTube, 800K on TikTok. Like this is the guy. And so especially in my personal life, I've definitely noticed that once people found out about my channel, I mean having like 20,000 subs on YouTube, I definitely got treated differently. So I don't like telling people right off the bat that I do YouTube, because I feel like it kind of comes off on me as like, this guy's a narcissist. Wow, look at him, he's so full of himself. Yeah, he does YouTube, we get it. So I typically like to keep it more of like a secret beforehand, before I tell people. But yeah, there's definitely a difference on how people treat you in your day-to-day life.
Are you pessimistic, or like view it in a society, humans treat humans type of way, where if they're more successful, they get treated differently? Like, how do you view that?
I think everyone is to some extent.
Tell me more.
Whereas, okay, so short answer, yes, but like to the extreme, no. Because I think we all know this, that, you know, looks absolutely matter, and anyone who tells you no is definitely lying to you. Because I've definitely been on that spectrum to where I was fat, like many years ago. I was the fat kid growing up, and then I developed anorexia for myself, where I dropped all the way down to like 130 pounds to where I am now, to where I'm more like in shape now. And there's definitely been like an absolute shift on how people treat you based on the way that you look and present yourself around people. So definitely I got treated the worst when I was at my biggest, when I was fat. And now I get treated with a lot more respect in public, especially from a lot of random people, just because of the certain way that my body looks. And I've also noticed that, like, you're walking a place, you have a walking pad. Dude, I used to have one too,
Mine was like I had it for 4 days and I just returned. I didn't like it.
Wait, okay.
I was so disappointed. I really wanted to like it. It's just the one that I got was just too loud. I couldn't use it.
Give me a second. Internet Anarchist says he's trying to join, but I don't. Give me a second. Internet Anarchist, if you're trying to join, it would be best, unless you want to drop your own Discord in the chat, which might be a bad idea just because. Did he join? Here, let me see. Oh my God, he did. Holy shit. Okay, hold up. Are you in my Discord, by the way, bro? Hold up. Let me add him as a friend. Hello, Nath? Are you here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, perfect. I added him as a friend. Let's see if he responds to it, and then I'll add him to the call.
Dude, things just got interesting now. What the heck?
Yeah, I know, right? It's I view things a little bit differently. Obviously, I'll treat someone different if they are physically different, if they're more successful. No one treats a homeless man the same way. Message me, request. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do this. Let's message this guy. There we go. I sent him a message. Dude, you know what's bad? He's in the live stream, but I was gonna like overreact once he joins. Okay, let's add this guy, bro. Here, let me do
Dude,
this.
totally. I'm totally down for that.
Yeah, let's do it, bro. Okay, there we go. Yo, we made it. Yo, unbelievable stuff, guys. This is something I would have not expected. I'm not gonna lie, but it happens. Happens all the time when you go live. By the way, Nath, once he joins or if he joins, is there anything you wanted to ask him?
Nothing in particular. I think really the only thing that I would want to know is going back to what you just asked me on how people treat you differently just by knowing that you have a presence on social media.
Sure, let's do it. I'd love to talk about like their success and how they're dealing with it. Internet Anarchist! Oh my God, it's Internet Anarchist!
It's him. It's the dude.
How you going?
How are you, man?
I'm good, very good. Just was tuning into this stream while making some lunch.
Cool. By the way, what you told me or typed in chat that the conversation was interesting. What was the most interesting part to you?
I think mostly the fact that what you guys are discussing are things that I was going through like a couple of years ago, and just like hearing some different opinions on it, and people from perspectives of people like actively going through that like stage of their journey.
And by the way, Internet Anarchist, I'll let Nath ask a few questions of his, but I have a few myself. So this will be like a semi-interview. That's what I like to do. I just like to talk to people and like understand their thought process. You're quite successful on YouTube, but obviously it takes quite a lot of ambition to even succeed in YouTube. So now that you're at your level, is there larger plans? Is it to maintain your success? What's your long-term goals?
In terms of YouTube or just in general?
In general.
In general, like for me,
Yeah.
I don't usually talk about this stuff publicly, but mainly just venturing into business outside of YouTube, outside of content creation, and turning what is like an advantageous position at my age. I'm 22, turned 22 this year.
Dude.
Hold on. Is someone playing audio?
No.
I mean, I don't hear anything.
Sorry, I had a tab of Twitter open and it started playing one of a song by Young Thug. Anyway, what I was saying,
Yeah.
have you guys heard that clip where it's just like the harder every second line?
Probably.
I thought I was getting trolled on the
yeah,
screen for
the
a
one
second.
song.
Yeah, I thought I was getting trolled for a second. But it's just because I literally went back to my setup and opened up Discord. But I would say I've sort of lost track of what I was thinking of. But basically taking the best advantage of this position I'm in to set up a future for myself that goes past like what I'm sacrificing to do this. Because to do what I'm doing on YouTube, I'm sacrificing basically the start of my adult life, like the process of getting a higher education, getting experience in corporate jobs, and then climbing a corporate ladder. I'm basically sacrificing that time that my peers at the same age are currently mostly going through to achieve this. So for me, my number one priority is how do I turn this amazing position that I've gotten myself into at this age into something that's a lifelong advantage, not just like something I look back on when I'm in my 50s and working some job I hate, being like, man, those days were great. If only I had, played my cards better, I could be not working this job. So basically I'm trying to act as if I may have already taken that wrong path. And it's not necessarily a bad path because maybe that's what some people would prefer to do. But for me, I want to basically set things up for myself that I am able to live a good life with this sacrifice that I'm doing right now.
By the way, what should we call you? Or would you want us to call you Internet Anarchist?
My name is Will. You can just call me Will.
Perfect. Nice to meet you, Will. And you were mentioning earlier before you got a little bit distracted with the Twitter about you wanting to do businesses. Is it the type of business where it's associated towards your YouTube and you promote it like a Ryan Trahan, Mr. Beast, Prime type of situation? Or is it an entirely different venture that you're interested in?
So, like, I actively have, like, other things outside of YouTube to diversify my income. Like, some of those things I don't want to discuss publicly, just, associated with that brand, because there are several reasons to keep things separated, especially, if I got terminated. I basically want to have things set up that I'm completely fine and that I'm still set for the rest of my life. But in terms of adjacent businesses, one I do have is, are you guys aware of the platform School?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do know that platform.
Yeah, so I have a couple communities on there that I don't really share everywhere or whatever, but one of them is a high ticket community for like creators who are in a similar position to what I was a couple of years ago, where they've got YouTube off the ground to a point where it's like a job for them and they're putting in the hours of it being a job, and then helping those same creators go from job to running it like a business, where you have a team where if you are sick for a few days, you're not just like ruined and screwed. And that's sort of one of the main things on the side that's adjacent to YouTube, but that's like public with my YouTube. I don't promote it, never promoted it on my YouTube or anything, but that's sort of utilizing my credibility and basically just what I've done publicly to help people privately.
So, Will, it seems like you've made a lot of progress very quickly at your age, and I'm very curious, while growing your YouTube channel and business overall, did you have a mentor to guide you along the way, or was everything self-taught?
I would say I didn't have like a mentor that's a specific person, but I read a lot of books, and that's really what helped me the most, was just reading. And I would say, there's some YouTube videos that I watched that were really good back then, but mainly for me, like I don't come from an area where there's like people with money. Like, I didn't come from money at all. So I didn't really have anyone to talk to about like, how do I like make money or make a lot of money, or what sort of lifestyles are possible to have. For me, like when I grew up, the only thing I knew was going to university and getting a job, or not going to university, but working in a trade for a while and earning money through that. So what really opened my mind was reading books, because that sort of showed me this completely different perspective on life that was possible that I just wasn't aware of.
Perfect. And I'll let Nath ask questions as well. So this will be my last question. Honestly, Will, actually, I forgot it. So I'll let Nath ask it himself, or whatever he wants to know.
Okay, so I do have a question. So I'm not sure if you know about this, but I remember watching a Turkey Tom video like a little while ago, and he mentioned that you had a previous channel before Internet Anarchist, to where you did, I think it was TF2 content, if I'm not mistaken. So what was that like? Because I know you had a decent bit of success on that channel before you started Internet Anarchist.
Yeah, so basically, I'm a YouTube kid. Since the age of like 12, or actually younger, since the age of like 10, I've been posting everything I do to YouTube across various channels. You know, some channels will get, 40 subscribers and just get lost. And yeah, then I had a gaming channel, got it to like 50K subs, but I wasn't really earning anything substantial from it. And I was entering a turning point in my life where I was going from being a kid to being an adult. And as I was like turning into an adult, like as I think I was turning 18 or maybe 17, and I realized that if I want to go the path of online business and make a living online, then it's not going to be in a gaming channel, especially not on a game that is so limited in its player base and the potential views you can get. It would just be practically impossible to make a living and also make enough of a living that it's worth the sacrifice of those earlier years in adulthood that you could be spending studying, that you could be spending setting up like a career path in the future, like 6 years from that point. Like if you want to become a lawyer, a doctor, or some other field that requires extensive studying.
And by the way, Will, I remember my question. I'm sure during the process of growing to where you are, you were really working, your head was down. And I'm sure there's a certain point where you finally did make a certain amount of money and you looked up. How did it feel? How did it feel letting other people know? Did you let other people know?
I pretty much, you mean just in general or like?
Yeah, so I usually keep my questions vague, just so whatever pops up in your head, I'd love to hear the answer.
I mean, in terms of like letting people know what I'm doing, I've been pretty open about like posting to YouTube and doing social media. Like it's just sort of been my thing for my whole life, pretty much that I can remember. I've just always liked, I've had a thing for creating stuff, and then when it lined up that I could create things and sort of have that as my business, as my whole thing, it just seemed perfect for me because originally I was looking down like I was like, I love creating stuff. I must want to be working on like film sets, on TV production sets. And I even went to film school for a day, right? And I very quickly realized that, hey, maybe I'm not like the guy holding a microphone out of the view of the camera. Maybe I'm the guy who's like producing the whole show. That's how I felt. I just felt like I couldn't be the guy holding a microphone in the corner. And, nothing's wrong with doing that. That is what some people want to do. And that is how you eventually lead into getting higher roles in that sort of job. But for me, that's not what I wanted. And it wasn't a path of achieving like what I wanted to achieve and have the lifestyle that I wanted to have, of being able to travel, live, enjoy what life has to offer before I'm old and like my body's broken down, which is for me a nightmare. Like I don't want to be working every single day, trading all of my time just to turn like 70 and be like, oh, now I can go travel to these countries I want to travel to or do these activities. I want to be able to do that in my 20s, 30s, 40s, while my body is still at, peak fitness, where I'm not going to be like where I'm not some like 7-year-old guy in a Porsche 911, like struggling to get in and out of a seat, I'd rather have that car now, So
And
I don't know if that makes sense, but that's sort of it.
No, it does. And Will, there's recently a trend going on. Maybe you've seen it. There's a lot of trends online where it talks about day trading courses, YouTube automation courses, and it seems like you're quite successful in that sense. Correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of the work on your channel is delegated towards other people.
Is a lot of the work delegated?
Yeah, towards like employees, like the editing, maybe the script writing, the research.
I have a pretty tight team, and we all work pretty much we all work quite a lot. But yeah, it's like definitely a team effort. Like I could not be, I started off doing every single element myself, like all of the motion graphics, all of the scripting. Like before this, I was doing freelance video editing and freelance narration. Like you'll find my voice in some pretty random places on the internet if you look hard enough, because I was previously doing that kind of work. But it all sort of combined. I was doing everything myself, and then just as the video started earning money, I saw it as an opportunity to not only just scale my channel, but then provide opportunities to people like me who have this skill, but they don't know how to monetize that skill that well, right? And like jobs like someone who's super cracked at motion graphics, but they might not be able to do a narration or write a script. So for them, the perfect role is doing motion graphics for someone who can narrate and write scripts well. So it just sort of creates this good pairing. And that's sort of the way I've just scaled the whole thing, is finding people who are super passionate about something, really skilled at it, and then figuring out how that fits into the flow, and then just working together for a long time. Like most people on my team, we've all been working together now for like 2 years, because we have this mission that we're all on.
Perfect.
And I respect and understand them because I was doing the same thing before this.
Right. So I'll give you a little bit of my situation. I'd love your input about it. So as of now, I have 2 people from the Philippines. I'm training them. I just hired them, where they'll be editing my videos. And my thought process is to also edit at the same time to push out volume. But there's a lot of conflicting ideas on YouTube where it's spend a lot of time, make one good video, but there's also the idea of short form content where it's push out a lot of videos and you can slowly improve your skill over time. My question to you is, honestly, that was a little bit all over the place, but my question to you is, what should I look for in terms of like a good employee? Or what are the traits that you look for?
For me, like the number one thing I look for, to be honest with you, is just like if I can enjoy talking to them. Like if I can hop on a call with them and have a conversation that doesn't feel like super awkward or forced. That's like for me one of the most important things, because someone can have like the best skills in the world, but if the communication's bad, if you can't just like hop on a call and talk about things, then everything else is going to fail. So I would say that's the most important thing, is just the personality, making sure it's a good match, making sure that you feel comfortable being able to talk to each other, and then making sure they're trainable. Like someone who's really skilled but isn't open to being trained or like learning how to do things differently can really hold you back, compared to someone who might not have the skills yet, but they're super trainable, willing to learn, and sort of want to figure out how to do things in a different way. I'd say that's probably the main thing.
Dang, I'm taking notes now. I definitely need that.
One last question from me, and then I'll give it to Nath. Because you're quite successful, I'm sure you've met a lot of other YouTubers, and I have a cousin who also does business himself. He's quite successful, and he's talked about many times with, at least he knows a lot of YouTubers as well, and a few of them are very artistic in the sense of they don't want to give up parts of their job towards employees. They want to edit themselves because they want the authentic touch. And it seems like in our previous conversation or earlier conversation, you don't care how people want to do their business or success. As in, if they want to be in front of the camera, it's okay, they can do that. But for you, it's different. But from a business sense, how do you feel about the artistic YouTubers?
I feel a lot of empathy for them, because that was me, and I think it's completely a mindset thing, and it's having control, right? When we start a YouTube channel and it starts finding success, it's our baby, and we feel like we put the channel in that position. It was our work that got it there, so we feel like we need more of our work to get it to the next goal. But the reality is so far from that, and I think a lot of it, like because I kept on editing my videos for a really long time, even after I was getting enough views to work with editors. And it's because almost this level of ego of like, I got it here, so I'm going to be the one who gets it to this next place. Or if I give up control of this video is not going to feel like my video anymore. But the reality of this is it's just a complete training issue. Like someone who has this mindset, they'll go and work with an editor, they'll try it out, and they won't provide any detailed instructions. They won't have SOPs explaining how to do each step, or what you like and what you don't like, and proper guidelines to help them help you, essentially. Instead, they'll just like throw work at someone. They will return with a pretty bad project, and it's not really in the style of the creator. And the creator then reaffirms their belief that, oh, people can't do this. I'm special. Like, for some reason, I'm the only one who can do this. When in reality, if you can do it yourself, like if I can edit these videos myself, I can teach someone else to do the same thing. It's just a matter of taking time training, and not just rushing people and forcing someone else into a bad position to reaffirm your negative self-limiting thoughts.
Nath, if you don't mind, during that, I had one question pop in my head. Is it okay if I ask it?
Mm-hmm.
For
Yeah,
you,
absolutely.
for you, Will, you said it was a turning point where it took you a long time to finally jump over that hurdle. Was there something that happened? Did you have to do anything, or you just did it?
I was reading a book and it completely roasted me in the way that it was like making an example out of something else. And it was like, this type of person is like very controlling. They're the person who feels like they're a creative genius or whatever, or the only person who can do it. In reality, it's just ego. And then I was like listening to this audiobook in my car. I was like, oh shit, that's me. Maybe I should give this a proper try. Maybe I am the issue in this situation, and it's not like the 5 editors that I just threw work at without actually explaining what I want and how I want it. You know?
That's beautiful. All you, Nath.
See, that was... You really just spoke to me for that one, because I literally just went through this exact same issue, to where I've worked with 2 different editors in the past, trying to somewhat outsource my videos. But I felt that exact same thing, to where I personally feel that my videos have a very special touch when it's done by me, because I feel there is no other person that can really replicate this humor, even though I know that's not true deep down. And so when you describe the exact situation that I went through, to where I didn't really describe exactly in detail exactly what I wanted, I kind of just kept it very vague. That also reaffirmed my exact thought of, wow, I'm really the only one that can do this. Like, I'm the only one that can create this video to this quality. And so, probably not a very smart thing after spending money on that, especially. But I also found it very interesting that both you and I had the exact same fear when you mentioned earlier that you were scared of being an old age and not being able to enjoy yourself. I find that really, really interesting that we both have that exact same thing. I briefly mentioned that in one of my videos. Oh, he's gone.
No, I think Cam's off. You can keep on talking, bro. You can keep on talking. I'm listening.
Okay, I'll just keep on going. I briefly mentioned that in one of my videos, that my biggest fear is that I grow old and just think back to what if I could have? Like, what could I have done if I actually tried even more? And so my actual question, I'm going to stop rambling now. My actual question is, what is the main steps going from the awkward stage between like 20,000 subscribers to having a play button? Like, what is the main steps that you see that a lot of people fail at when going from 20K to 100K?
I would say, like, at that point, the hard part is kind of done. Like, if you've got 20,000 subscribers, you've got validation. It's like if you're trying to validate an idea, right? And when, like, the mention of automated YouTube channels earlier, when someone's making like a bunch of automated channels, they'll validate all these different ideas by launching a ton of channels with a ton of content, and then the ones that actually do like better, the outliers, they'll dedicate and invest into, right? So basically, when you're not doing that, which, just to mention, I'm speaking about automated channels as someone completely unexperienced with them. I don't have automated channels. I don't have like a ton of YouTube channels as well, aside from ones that I'm like invested into personally. But back to what you're saying, you've got 20,000 subscribers, so you've got a validated idea. There's people who want to pay attention to whatever you're doing. Now, I don't know what you post about, but obviously people see some kind of value in watching it, and that's a good thing. The difference between getting to from 20,000 subscribers to 100,000 subscribers is mainly scaling now, because you've validated an idea. Now you got to figure out, okay, what's the best way I can capitalize on this idea, and also not dig yourself into a hole, because as a YouTuber, you create your own cage with what you upload. Like for my channel, I had a very popular series when I was just first growing the channel. I maybe had 100,000 subscribers, and there was this beef between Penguin Zero and another streamer called Sneeko. When I made a video on this subject, it went really well. It just blew up completely. So naturally, the signal I got was, people love this. I got to make more of this. So I released like day after day of this situation as it was unfolding live in front of everyone. And each video quickly grew to 1 million views. This is massive growth for my channel at the time. But at this point, I, in my mind, had to think, okay, well, I can just keep trying this, but eventually it's going to run dry. And when I try to make different content, people aren't going to watch it. So something that was important for me is making sure I'm always pivoting or always experimenting. What's working well for me now might be only the third best thing that could possibly work for me. What are the other two things that are going to work better? The challenge is scaling what's working right now for you, while also keeping in your mind that there are other things out there that work better that you haven't found yet. So you need to keep looking to see where you can pivot, where you can expand, and how you can experiment wisely that you're keeping at least like two of the three elements. I've made a whole video discussing like how to experiment properly. So I'm trying to recall from that. But in that video, I think I described it as having like 3 elements for a YouTube video. There's like the packaging, the format, and then the topic of the video. So it's how can you keep 2 of those successful elements while changing one of them out to something else, which is doing like a smart experiment on YouTube. Like maybe I keep the packaging and the format of the video. Maybe it's like a list video. Maybe it's a commentary video. How do I keep those 2 things the same and then swap out the third thing? Maybe it's the topic. So if you see me doing this on my channel, I have posted a video about Ellen DeGeneres. In fact, a more recent example, James Corden. I normally cover YouTubers. That's like my bread and butter. But if you see me covering someone like James Corden, if I put my successful packaging and successful format, which is like the video essay documentary style delivery, even if I change that third element, unless it's a really negative change, the video is going to still perform well. And sometimes it will perform even better than any other usual video on the channel. So that would be a successful experiment. I then know that I have this other element which I can then use. Maybe in the future, I can do a James Corden video, but with completely different packaging or in a different format of the actual video itself. So I'd say that's the main thing, figuring that out, figuring out how to experiment, and then making sure that you're not just posting the same thing and getting, because it doesn't matter if you have 100,000 subscribers, but you're caged into a specific format of video, which when that format dies, you die along with it. I don't know if you've seen, there was a bunch of channels, I think last year, doing like the 7 deadly sins or the 7 virtues of whatever. And this channel posted like 20 videos on the exact same thing after each other because it kept getting views. And then their channel just died along with that little trend. So you want to make sure that you're building yourself up to be a channel that stays around long term and isn't just sort of a flash in the pan where you make a couple $1,000 but have nothing left and have to start from zero. It's better to earn, money slowly but be building something that's better long term than sort of crashing and burning.
I think that was a great conversation about longevity and not putting all your eggs in one basket, but also being sure to take advantage of what is working. My question to you is, Will, you have a school, so I'm assuming there's a lot of YouTubers that does ask for a certain type of advice. I'm sure there's a question they always ask that pops up more recently, and at the same time, it's very easy what the answer is. They might even know it, but it's something they don't want to admit. Is that something that happens often with you?
Yeah, I mean, like half of what I'm helping people with is just being an external perspective, like being in their YouTube studio, but not having been the person making the content and being able to look at things more objectively, like, okay, what's actually going on here? And without the emotional attachment to videos, because we all have, even myself with my content, I have emotional attachments to videos. I'm not going to be able to look at my analytics from a complete view of someone who didn't already invest a bunch of time and money into every single video, right? So a lot of that, is coming from just having someone else who is knowledgeable in the subject to be able to look at something and point out the really obvious things. Like most things I point out are quite obvious.
And I'm assuming the value you see in, by the way, there's a large negative stigma with courses online, which I actually disagree. I think more or less the idea of just spending the money makes you pay a lot more attention. And with your school, where do you think the most value comes from? Is it the price? So it makes them more aware of what's being said, because a lot of information online is free, but because it's free, it's not valued. So I'm curious what your value proposition is for your school.
So I have 3 communities right now, 2 that are active. One was just a free community for everyone to join that was basically countering that there's a lot of people just selling really bad information to people who don't know anything about YouTube. So I created a free community basically for anyone who wants to start doing YouTube to join and get whatever resources they need to just take it off the ground and understand the platform and how things work, and also be surrounded by other people starting. And that was sort of just my donation in a way of my time and my energy to just the YouTube community, because YouTube changed my life so much that I felt like I sort of owed something back. And then the other community I have, which is sort of an invite-only community, and really like the average YouTuber size in there is probably about 1 million subscribers. So everyone's sort of a similar level of YouTube. And in that, the value proposition, I think, just comes from the fact that so a bit more context. When I was before I got big on YouTube, I always imagined that all of the big creators had some sort of group chat where they strategized, where they met up, where they would actually talk about like the meta of YouTube and go deep into things and deep into the analytics. And then I got to the position of being a big YouTuber, spoke to most of the big creators that I, watched in the past, and realized that no one's really organized. So I guess the value proposition of that super high level community is just having everyone organized and coming together every single week. It's not even really based on like course content. It's actually mainly based on our weekly calls that we have, and the fact that we audit each other's channels and really just go in depth. And anything new that comes to YouTube, any sort of strategy, any trend that we notice, like, hey, this thing's sort of getting a lot of views, or this might be good for this person's channel, we're all sort of looking out for each other from like, the perspective of other large YouTubers. Like, there's a ton of opportunities out there that I can't follow up, and that's not worth me chasing because it's so far out of my niche. It's out of my sort of mission with my channel and my own journey. But it's super useful and a huge opportunity for the guy next to me, right? So that's that community. And then we just launched, like, are actually in the process of launching another sort of lower ticket community, which is aimed towards driven creators who are trying to who don't necessarily already have YouTube like as their job and full income, but who are trying to sort of make their first 100K with YouTube. It's literally called 100K Academy. And in there, it's mainly just helping creators as much as possible with the earlier stages, like before 1 million subs, like up to probably up to like 800K subs if it's long form, around that area, and around when people start, making enough money that they would be suitable to join. Because the high level group, it's pretty much invite only. We don't really promote it. And to even join, it's not about just having the money to join it. You have to be basically approved by everyone to be accepted in there, right? So the other community is more accessible, and that one is less focused on hopping on calls every week and, going through everyone's channels. And it's more focused on me and my business partner with this, who's also a YouTuber, who's very successful. His channel's been blowing up a ton. He makes like animated style videos, and that's more of us sharing our knowledge with people. And like, I'll read something interesting that I think can help other creators. I'll just pull out my phone and record myself 10 minutes talking about it. It's sort of more like that. Whereas the other one, I'd probably save that thought and then just bring it into a call that we have every week.
I love that answer. There's a lot of insights with what you've said, more or less your mental state and how you view competitiveness, as in you're not trying to restrict the information. Even with the free school, you're trying to give the information for free as a way to give back. I noticed that's a thing, or a value proposition in a lot of school accounts, where there's this Instagrammer where he has a successful school as well, and he really advertises the community, the people you're going to be a part of. And sorry, excuse me, Will, I have a question. It'll come back to me. I have to go to the bathroom real quick. I've been walking this treadmill for quite some time. Nath, if you don't mind, would you take over? I have my headphones in, so I'm hearing the entire thing, by the way, guys. So,
dude, I got you, man. Don't worry.
All right, peace out, guys. I'll be right back.
I'm sorry. I'm recovering from being sick. So, okay. So one thing that you mentioned that really caught my attention is that you mentioned that a bunch of big creators are not very organized. See, that was something that I always thought, because I always hear that a lot of big creators have a team of editors, like 5 editors, So I always thought there was maybe some sort of organization there, or maybe they're also contacting or reaching out to other creators to talk about different video ideas. Like, hey, does this look good? Like, is this a good idea? Should I branch out into this type of niche? So that was the fact that you just mentioned that there is none of that at all. That was kind of weird to me. So
And when it does happen, like people attempt to make that work, and I've been invited to countless group chats, countless Discord servers, but there's no real incentive for anyone to just like keep joining the calls. And it might start with like, oh, let's do a call weekly. Week number 1 is 10 people. Week number 2 has 6 people. And then there's 3 people. And then it's like, oh, we may as well just be texting each other in a direct call with each other. Like at that point, it just dies out because it's not properly organized and it's not like scheduled into a calendar for everybody.
right. I'm sorry. So one thing. Okay, so I'm gonna like, go back to a different video that you made like a while ago. So I remember you made a video on Hamza, and how there was a part where he was selling a school course. So I was actually in that school course, funny enough. So I can actually say from experience that it was kind of that exact same thing, where there would be a lot of people in one call, but then after a while it would kind of die down a bit and there wouldn't be as many people. So one thing I'm noticing now is that just the natural direction of YouTubers? Eventually you grow your channel up to a certain size and then you just start a school community? Like, is that just the next step, or is that just the trend going on right now?
I don't think so. I don't really know like many other YouTubers, especially YouTubers who aren't education based. Like I think for education based YouTubers, a school community is a super smart idea. It's a lot more organized than a Discord server, and the platform itself just feels a lot more education focused rather than just like sending memes back and forth. Like a lot of Discord servers, if they try to have like a serious focus, you just get a bunch of like GIFs in the chat and people memeing and people tuning in randomly to say random stuff. Whereas school is more of like a forum website where you actually make a post and people interact with posts. It's not like, there's not even a chat feature on school where you can just like randomly chat with people. But for YouTubers, like most YouTubers have no reason to really have a school community, especially general entertainment YouTubers, which I classify myself as part of that. I'm kind of an anomaly for that because I created this with the purpose of like creating the community for like high level YouTubers, and then the more recent one is just creating a community to help others grow. You're sort of utilizing what I've learned, and also the fact I think there's a huge benefit that I'm not someone who is making my money from teaching people things. Like most of my money, you can see exactly where I'm making it. I'm making YouTube videos that millions of people watch, like 10 million people watch it every single month. So it's all public. I'm not making my money and the bulk of my money through selling anyone anything or through having these educational courses, which even if that's how I made my money, that's not necessarily a problem, right? It's okay to make money selling books. It's okay to make money by selling information if that information's providing genuine value to people and the people who consume that information are having some sort of benefit in their lives. But in terms of your question, like, should every YouTuber who gets big have a school community? I don't think so. I think you need a purpose. You need a reason to make that community, and you need to have some sort of value that you're going to be providing.
Yeah, so let me know what you think about this. Will, I had a conversation with another YouTuber as well, like same type of format, and how I view, or at least long term with my channel, is make money through the views, bring in sponsorships, and that, at least for me, I've always wanted to start a business. That's why I even went into YouTube, is mainly for the purpose of building an audience and directing them towards a business, something that I want to genuinely create, and it's better leverage. That's how I view it. And during this conversation, well, I've noticed that you love reading books. You're constantly trying to learn. I can obviously see it through the background. And recently, was there something that you have learned that really stood out and solved a bottleneck that you were suffering with?
Yeah. So here's like, it's not something that I've learned that's new to me now, but it's something that I reminded myself of, like literally maybe 2 days ago, that helped me through I had a pretty rough morning. Now, I'd consider myself definitely above average in terms of productivity. I am sort of the guy who wakes up and I go straight into the office and work, and I'll just work until the afternoon until it's or into the night, basically until I'm cooked and can't really continue working. And I started work the other day, and the goal was to record a voiceover, but I found myself doing literally everything but this voiceover. I had like 50 windows open on my computer. I was solving random problems that didn't need to be solved, putting out just fires that were stupid in that moment. I was avoiding this task, and I find it interesting that even this far along my journey, it's still these very basic things that are impacting me. And I've found that with everyone. Like I speak to other YouTubers who you'd think, you look at their channel, they're so successful, you think they have it all figured out. But in reality, no one has it figured out. We're all actively figuring it out together. And something that I was able to remind myself of, I'm not sure where I originally heard this, but basically I took a break from trying to even bother recording this voiceover because it wasn't happening. And I just, I really don't remember the source of this information, but basically I rediscovered the sort of mindset framing of me avoiding a task being because that task is making me uncomfortable and I'm doing these other things to try and self-soothe and make myself feel better in the moment. But ultimately, the more you self-soothe, the more you're going to be harder to actually do that task, and the more you're going to have to self-soothe in the future to feel less uncomfortable, right? It's just like seeking to do high dopamine things because that task that you want to do, you're worried. Like for me, it's like, well, if I record this voiceover, that's an hour of standing at my desk, talking into a microphone, locked in, reading a script. And sometimes I'll be like reading the script and then adjusting parts of the script as well, because when you read something versus when you say something comes out differently. And I guess the thing that I reminded myself of was that I need to be not just acting on impulse from the signals in my brain that, hey, this thing's making me feel like discomfort, I should go do something more fun, and actually look at that signal, analyze that signal and be like, okay, I feel discomfort going into this task. That's because this task is important to me. It's a big part of my day. It's the number one thing I wanted to get done. And while doing it, it is going to feel uncomfortable, but it's something I have to get done either way. And it's not going to feel less uncomfortable to do if I put it off or if I go do something more fun in the moment. In fact, that's just going to make it worse because it raises your baseline level of dopamine. And basically, the more dopamine you get from sources like Reels, from watching YouTube videos, from watching TV shows, movies, whatever, the more you go to those things to find dopamine, to be happy in the moment. And most of the time you do these things, you're not even that happy. You're just sitting there, just kind of not uncomfortable. You're just sitting there like, okay, this is like kind of all right. Like, I don't know many people who actually scroll on TikTok and be like, wow, that was a fun time. Most people are like, oh, where did that time go? Like, what happened? And it's just because you're putting yourself in this state of being comfortable, but not happy and not really having achieved anything. So I would say the main thing for me, that was a really long way to say, but just take a step back from my own mind and sort of consider my own thoughts before acting upon them, and consider why I might be feeling that way. And also the future. Like, if I want future me to be working hard and still building a great future for myself, I need to be doing that in the present. If I don't do that in the present, why would I expect future me to do that? It's just going to be, future me is going to be doing what I'm doing now.
I think what you mentioned included a lot of nuggets of information where a lot of people believe that they need information to solve their problems, but more or less you need to be reminded of core lessons that will help you really push the needle. I think you also mentioned dopamine. There's a lot of neurology involved, right? You eat a piece of ice cream and then there's the trough in your baseline of dopamine. But for some reason, after eating the ice cream, you want to eat it, but you won't be as satisfied after you eat it. It's the same process with TikTok scrolling, where you mentioned as well, there's a lot of ways to mention it. I've been reading different books like Power of Now, where it discusses about consciousness. People a lot and often lose consciousness within their day-to-day lives. And my question to you is, and by the way, Nath, if you ever want to interrupt, go ahead. I wouldn't mind, right? But Will, what's your relationship with work? Because I actually have a cousin who's quite successful, and it seems like, at least for many people meet a lot of successful people, they have different relationships with work. So I'll give a little bit of context. For him, he lives in Long Beach, California, and he actually doesn't do much work, right? He runs a online business, e-commerce, and from what I remember, I don't know if he's comfortable saying it, but super private, so he doesn't know. As in, I kept them super vague, but during December, I think during Christmas e-commerce, it does really good. He did around like $1 million in revenue, and it's a high margin business. And the reason why I mentioned that is because he delegates a lot of his work and he doesn't do anything. So what I mean is, I remember he went to Asia. He did a month-long trip to Asia. I hang out with him sometimes, and he wakes up, smokes weed, does like a 3-hour exercise workout. He has fun, but he also makes sure to spend enough time, not too much time, thinking about what to do for the future. That's how he views his job, is a lot of thinking. And he's not doing the work, he delegates a lot of stuff and think about what to do. So I wonder what your relationship with work is, how you view other people and their relationships with work, and how much they work, how little they work.
So for me personally, I definitely can see that there's people out there. Like I read the 4-Hour Work Week. That was one of the earlier books I read, and it definitely shaped so much of my vision moving forwards, and about delegating and about sort of building a lifestyle. Like I lived in Southeast Asia for like 2 years while blowing up, because it's so much cheaper to live there. And I would say, you know, everyone has their own path. That's the great thing about life, is no one has to live the same lifestyle. And there's so many different ways of living, and of living a good life, that you can really just pick whatever suits you best and follow that. For me, I enjoy working a lot, and there's not many things that I like more than working and having a goal. And I love putting in hours. I love starting my day and being like, how much can I get done today? And then at the end of the day, reviewing my work, and I feel proud of myself. And for me, that feeling is great. Personally, I don't drink, and it's not that I'm like anti-alcohol, but I really love having a clear mind so that I can do better in my work. And I find, yeah, I just like to work. And if I didn't like to work, I could for sure figure out a way of running all of my businesses probably within half the time I do. But I don't know what else I'd rather spend that extra time doing. I'd probably just find more ventures to work on, just more things to do, because that's just what I enjoy.
That's awesome. And I think I think something that's very underrated throughout this conversation is where you are internally. You are not someone who is very you're not competitive in the context of restricting information from other people. You're willing to share it, create a whole community, and also benefit from that, right? This is a thing like Joe Rogan says, where it's not a competition. You're there to work together. And I also really appreciate how you're comfortable that people can live other lifestyles, and you're not there to judge. I think that's what I notice as well with a lot of the people that I talk to. They're not judgmental. And my question to you is, there are judgmental people everywhere, and you meet them everywhere when you're doing social media or anything. Do you think being judgmental is a good thing or bad?
So I'm going to put you on pause here. I got to go answer the door. I'll be back in a second.
All good. Oh my God, no, dude. No, I'm kidding. Was there, by the way, I apologize for asking so many questions. Was there anything that popped up in your head that you couldn't have asked? Because I'll let you like go for it.
No, I was really just listening to what you had to ask him, because I found that really interesting too. Like a lot of the stuff that you asked him, like especially about your cousin and how he's really successful and like how he structures his work life. I found that like really interesting. I just wanted to listen to that.
Yeah, you know, it was something that popped up in my head during our conversation as well. I think one thing you were talking about with like editing, I thought like, why not just hire editors? But I didn't want it to come off as like arrogance or anything, so I just never mentioned it, right?
Right.
But yeah.
I've tried in the past. I've tried to hire editors. It's just that I had that thing to where they weren't producing the work that I wanted, so I felt like I'm putting in all this time and money, but I'm not getting the result that I want back. So therefore, I'm the only one that's able to produce these videos.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm the only one that could do it best. Whereas I think it's more or less that I'm just terrible at giving instructions, really. That might be the issue here.
Some context, well, we were just talking about our previous conversation 101, where Noth, the YouTuber, was talking about how he spends a lot of time where he has a part-time job and then he goes work YouTube. So he's in the grinding phase. And in my head, during our conversation, I didn't mention it because I didn't want to seem rude. Why not just hire an editor? So that's where we were And Nath, I'm assuming you don't have any questions. I think you do.
I had one, but it's not really like relevant anymore, and I kind of forgot what it was.
Oh,
So I think the last question was about what I think about people who are like super judgmental about how other people live. Was that the question you asked before I left?
exactly. Yes.
What, like, can you repeat the question? Because I kind of forgot like the point of the question.
Yeah, you're all good. It's more of an internal thing. I'm sure a lot of people have difficulty in deciding their actions, right? So a lot of people, I'm sure you've experienced it, where they've decided or thought about not going to college, but for some reason they still stick to it. And I think a big reason why people stick with it, even though they have majors they're not too interested in, or they're in a school that they're not proud of, so they don't even care as much, but they still decide to do the thing. It's not just college, many things, jobs, for example. And I think a big reason why is because fundamentally, they themselves are judgmental. And their judgmentalness affects how other people view them. So they could go to college because their parents will view them differently, and they're not willing to sit in the moments where they're not successful, they need to work and prove them wrong, or even friends. That was the question about judgmentalness. And I've noticed throughout the conversation, which I'm sure a lot of people would not have noticed, that you have thrown that away, or that part of you.
Like worrying about other people judging me, or
Yeah, I wrote notes during this just to come back to the conversation, as in you're comfortable with what people do. So you don't care if someone drinks, even though it could be objectively bad, right? You don't care because there's many things in life where people can succeed and they can do bad things. And I thought that's something very admirable that you have mentally overcome. So I was just going to ask a question that leads you into an answer where what's ever in your mind.
Sure, yeah, I definitely, I just don't, as long as the way people live isn't negatively impacting other people who like aren't involved at all, I really don't like care. Like if you're like in a family, let's say you have a family and you have a big alcohol problem and it's causing you to lash out on other people in your family and act out, then obviously there's a problem there, right? It's not a way to live because you're negatively impacting others. But if you're just someone, you like to, go out and drink on the weekends and just, have a good time socially, I definitely see no problem with that. And even like you mentioned with your relative or your friend who runs a business and just like sits around smoking weed all day, that's definitely a way to live as well. That's the beauty of life, is that we can all choose how we live it. And unfortunately, some people can't choose how they live life, actually. That's one of the most sad things, in my opinion, is when someone can't choose how they live their life, and when they're sort of stuck in a position they don't want to be in, but want to be in a different position. I think that's a very sad thing. But there's also a beautiful thing about being able to do whatever you want, as long as it's not, harming other people.
And by the way, Will, when you said there's people that don't have a choice, was there someone that popped up in your head? Maybe a person in real life, or maybe a story you saw online?
Yeah, there was actually. Last night I was watching this documentary on YouTube of this, I'm not sure how much I can say on stream, but there's this village in Bangladesh, which is basically everyone in there is forced into a kind of work, or females that they don't want to be doing, and they're sort of put in that situation against their own will. So that was sort of what I was thinking in my mind, is that there are people out there, like everyone who's in like a Western, not even just Western, because there's other countries where people are living great lives. But if you're like from America, Australia, UK, one of, any of these countries similar to that, you're in such a wonderful position compared to so many people out there. And there are people out there who literally have almost no hope of living the life they want. So I think that's a sad thing. So if you're born and you're lucky enough to be in like a country where you can truly control the life that you live, then I think that's a wonderful thing to take advantage of.
I think that's great. I also... go ahead, Nath.
Oh, so Will, I had a question for you. One common trend that I've noticed with a lot of YouTubers is that they all have went through their own sort of self-improvement journey, per se. To where, like you in the background, I can see you have a lot of books that you've read. I also have like a bunch of books off camera. And then oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Hold on. Sorry, I was sick like 2 days ago. So another thing here with Rambo as well, he's also, I've noticed, gone through like his own self-improvement journey. So my question is that like a common trend with a bunch of YouTubers, that they all have this self-improvement journey, that they've had to go through a bunch of trials and tribulations and read like a bunch of books to be where they are now, to having like a different type of work to life ratio of relationship with everything?
I would say sort of yes and no. Yes, partially because there's obviously survivorship bias. A lot of creators who don't take the route of improving themselves, building systems, and like sort of scaling their content, they actually, you don't think of them because you don't see them around, because their channels are dead. No one's watching them. Whereas the people who are successful that you see all the time, chances are they have put thought into how they can improve themselves and sort of optimize their life around whatever they're doing to be one of the best at doing that thing. On the flip side of that, a lot of creators I know, like I'd say the majority of creators I know are a lot less organized than you'd expect. There's almost like this big separation between creators who sort of found a video format that worked really well, followed that and just kept making videos on that, and then creators who truly build like something big and something that really lasts over a long period of time. And I would say one of the biggest dividers between that is how much they're willing to read, how much they're willing to sacrifice. Like if you can spend 4 hours to make a YouTube video in a day, now my videos take way longer than that to make, but just as an example, you get to choose what you do with the other like 18 hours of your day. If you spend the majority of that time playing video games or just sort of feeding into things that just give you personal satisfaction, over time, you're not going to achieve as much as someone who is spending that day. Oh, in 4 hours, I can make a video. That means I can make like 4 videos today or 5 videos today or whatever. So I think it's just the mindset difference between like, oh, I save time so I can do more of this, versus I save time so I can go spend more time doing something that isn't really moving me forwards. Like I can just stay at this level and keep going and I'll be okay, which generally ends up them being not okay at some point because it stops working.
By the way, well, I'm glad that you said yes and no, because I mentioned Togi occasionally in my videos because I love that guy. He's very successful, and at the same time, he's everything people tell you you shouldn't be, right? I don't think there's a problem in doing bad things, air quotes, like drinking, smoking, or doing anything quote unquote bad overall. And back to the conversation we were talking about the people, the documentary you watched, I noticed that there's a very strong appreciation with your life and where you were born. You're very grateful for everything. And my question is this something you had to learn, or is this something who you were since the very beginning, like middle school, you're just loving life?
I would say like, I've always been quite grateful for being alive. I've had a lot of different experiences and seen a lot of different ways of living. Like I've done a lot of traveling, and like I've never posted this or even brought this up publicly, and I'm not bringing this up in any way to try and boost my image, because there's probably like 10 people watching this. Everyone's gonna forget this like in an hour. But like when I was living in Thailand, I went to like an orphanage and like donated a bunch of food to them, like fed everyone there. And I've just like seen the way some people live, and that then it's not even of their own fault. It's just a matter of odds of being born in a country that, you know, isn't as developed, into a family that maybe they didn't want kids, or maybe they're, you know, living in extreme poverty. You know, there's just so many elements that contribute. Even for me, like I can say as much as I want that like, oh yeah, I earned this success, I worked really hard. But for me to even be in the position to take it, to do that, I had to beat the odds of so many other things that had nothing to do with my own personal skill or anything I even know how to do. I was born in Australia to a family that's not in poverty. And I was also had the accessibility to books and technology that allowed me to learn, and also the education that I had in schools, which thanks to Australia, everyone can be educated here.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. And I actually talked to another commentary YouTuber a while ago. We've lost contact, but he was also in Thailand, which I think is, just a small little thing. But you tell me that you vacation a lot, Will. Was there a spot that you really enjoyed, and how so? Did you learn something from it? Did it just give you a new perspective?
I would say I learned. It's a difficult one, but I spend most of the place that has my heart is Chiang Mai, Thailand. That's where I used to live for like a couple of years, and where I sort of grew everything. So that place probably has my heart, and it's also where I was like not just traveling somewhere, but I was living there and having my day-to-day life there, and that was probably like one of the biggest experiences for me. But yeah, that's probably the biggest one. Chiang Mai, Thailand, probably my favorite place.
You're 22, so did you move immediately when you were 18 or something to live there for a few years?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I finished my education before I had even graduated from just like high school. I'd booked the flight and went over.
Wow. What did people think? Like, did your friends think of anything? Were you okay leaving them? What did your parents think? That's a big decision.
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously like tough for people who wanted me to still be around. But for me, it was something extremely necessary. It was something I needed. And I felt like it was part of my journey and a step that I had to take. I had to make myself extremely uncomfortable to then find future comfort. And I feel like I gained so much, even just as a person, from putting myself in a completely, strange situation of being like at the time, I felt like a kid, and I just felt like some kid in this city that I'd never been before, that I didn't speak the language of, and I was just like figuring it all out. I rented like a studio apartment, and like I remember before I went, I was like saving up. I got a MacBook, like when they first made the M models, which are really powerful. I got one of those and I went over, and it really felt like I had the whole world, the whole future ahead of me. Was like I was at the doorstep of it, and I feel like it was a pretty crucial moment for me. But yeah, there was obviously social pressure. It's a weird thing to be like, hey guys, I'm leaving everyone. I'm not going to see you again for, at the time I was like, well, I'm probably going to go over for 6 months or a year. I was still deciding. I was going to go test it out. And, if I hated it, if there was something incredibly bad about being there, then I would have just come back. But the plan was to be gone for, at least 6 months to a year. And it just worked out so well that I stayed longer.
That's honestly awesome, because I think that's a strong reference to, maybe you've read it, maybe not, Atomic Habits, where changing your environment plays like a big role in terms of removing yourself from bad situations. If you're constantly doing alcohol in your own house, change where you live. Big dramatic example, and there's a little bit of insight, maybe you care or don't, but I interviewed my friend who goes to UCLA, maybe a school you have, and a lot of those people who had a hometown and they moved to different colleges, they struggle with maintaining an identity, because once they've left their environment of their hometown, they enter this weird performative game where they aren't who they were, because everyone's brand new. So their personality switches up entirely. And then once they come back, I talk to these people and they're like, so weird. I go to this place, I'm a completely different person. And I like who I am at home. It's this thing they've built up. They're very comfortable with who they are. And then once they go to those colleges, again, it switches back immediately to this performative game. Who's better? What clubs are you in? What grades do you have? And I think that's something people don't consider enough, the environment they are in, because the environment they're in also creates the problems they're in.
For sure. Yeah, I think a lot of people let things change them. I know Thailand, like as a place, a lot of people go there. They find how cheap alcohol is and they just crash out. They party too hard and they lose everything. For me, I'm not someone who really enjoys drinking, so I'm not really as high of a risk for that sort of thing. Even like before I went to Thailand, just like with my mates from high school in Australia, just chilling out, I'm probably the one who likes drinking the least, and that's just a personal way that I've been. No particular reason. I don't hate alcohol. I don't hate people who drink alcohol either. It's just not something that really interests me that much. I don't feel that great the next day if I drink, and for me, it's very important how I feel the next day. But yeah, you're right. People go to a different environment. They switch up. They change everything, and sometimes that could be better. sometimes people just have a whole lot of negative stuff where they're from and they got to go somewhere else and, you know, let that be behind them. But in other cases, yeah, people can switch up. They build an ego. They start thinking they're better than they are. They think they're above people from wherever they're from. And that's not, it's just, you won't be happy living that way. And it might be like a short-term boost in the moment, but it's just being a little bit drunk from ego, and that never ends up well. It always ends up biting you back. So yeah, I don't think that's worth doing. And it's also something worth considering, like if you're doing something like that, if you're moving somewhere for college or whatever, just keep in the back of your mind to like be you and make sure you're still yourself and not turning into someone that you would have disliked in the past.
By the way, Will, excuse me. I lost my thought. That's a shame, but it's okay. It'll come back. Oh, what are you sniffing on, by the way? Is it like a smelling salt?
Kind of. I always forget that this is like a really weird thing for other people to look at, but it's called yadom. It's this herbal thing from Thailand. I bought it. I sniff them all the time, so I brought a bunch to Australia. I'm in Australia right now, by the way, because I moved here at the start of the year. Just moved back, but basically, it's like, do you guys have? I'm guessing you're both US based.
Yes.
Do you have like Tiger Balm or like Vicks Vapor Rub?
We have Vaporu. You know what that is?
No, I don't know what it is. It's sort of like, this is like very mentholy. And people use it like well, I mean, the Muay Thai fighters, before they go in the ring, they're like sniffing the hell out of this before they go in. It sort of wakes your brain up a little bit. But it's kind of like a minty in the way that the breaths you take after you sort of...
It clears your sinuses.
Yeah, it does. It clears your sinuses, and it also feels like minty and cool, and I just like it. It helps you stay alert, and weirdly, if you feel dizzy, this makes you not feel dizzy anymore. So...
by the way, Will, I remember it. No. And you've mentioned alcohol and drinking quite often, and I think that was something part of the conversation. So I'm curious, did the idea of drinking or something related to that pop up in your recent life to mention that?
Not really. I would say that mainly came from nowhere in particular. You know, I just think it's a very normal thing. Like, a lot of people drink, and that's about it. Like, I'll just say that it's been very positive for me not drinking and not being someone who's like going crazy on the weekends or like during the week or whatever. But no, there's not really like any particular, like, most YouTubers well, again, survivorship bias, because the YouTubers I speak to are generally creators, you know, 500k, million subs, whatever. And most of them aren't heavy drinkers either. Like, they might occasionally drink socially, which is sort of, for me, like if I go to a wedding or something, yeah, I might just have a couple drinks, but I'm not someone who will like purposefully have a social event, like text my mates, hey, let's go out and have some drinks, or let's go hit a club up. You know, I don't do that. I haven't been clubbing for years. You know, it's just not something that interests me personally. I'd rather, like, sounds boring, I'd rather read a book, or if I'm spending time socially with people, I would rather do some like fun, like I went bowling last night.
Oh, nice.
You know, like something random like that. I just like doing things that are more like fun. Maybe like, you know, could go play golf, could go to a shooting range, literally anything. Like, I just prefer doing activities rather than like the activity being drinking.
So, few guesses, right? I'd love for you to confirm my thoughts. I'm assuming you don't have many vices. If you do, I'd love to hear about them. But you're someone who values novelty and activities, so you can gain as much experience and wisdom from each activity. Let me know, Will.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, I feel like you can take things away from whatever situation you're in or whatever activity you're doing. But I definitely like to find things that are almost adjacent to my overall mission with my life, which is, you know, I need to be productive, working hard, clear-minded, need to be thinking, need to be making decisions and making sure I'm steering the ship for my channel. Like, it's running a channel like this, it's so different to working, because before YouTube, I worked multiple jobs, and I would, if I wanted to drink and sleep in or not sleep, have bad sleep, whatever, I could still attend that job, you know, clock in on time, do the job to the, you know, capability that is required, and then clock out. I could still do that. Whereas when I do that, if I was to try and do that with my channel, with something that I'm running, if I'm not present, if I'm not thinking straight, then first of all, it's going to negatively impact me because everything else kind of stops a bit. But also, there's people who feed their families with the work I'm providing them and pay their rent with the work I'm providing them. If I stop providing them work, or if I start making multiple mistakes due to doing, negative things and having, vices such as drinking, then I'm then impacting people external to me. And that's probably a huge motivator for me to be productive and to stay on top of everything, because I want everyone around me to be doing as good as possible. And I don't want to cause for anyone around me to be going through hardship.
I think we're slowly understanding you a little bit more throughout this conversation, where you talk about loving work. You like to work, and if you delegated a lot of your tasks, you'd still try to find work. I'm assuming it's this risk factor, right? There's a lot of pressure on top of you, and rather than being anxious about it, letting it crumble on top of you, you're someone who enjoys it even more. And with, entrepreneurship or even starting YouTube, do you think taking risk and being risky is something that is required to succeed?
Absolutely. I mean, I won't say that it's required, because some people just already find something they love doing, do that exact thing, and there's an audience for it. And that's amazing. Other times, you got to be just taking risks. I mean, most times it's taking risks. There was earlier in the conversation when you guys were talking to each other, I forgot what the conversation was, but it made me think of what, in my opinion, is like the number one skill needed to be successful, depending on whatever your definition of success is. Let's just say in this definition, you want to acquire wealth before you're like older, before you're like above the age of 50, for example. And I would say the number one thing required for that, like in my opinion, is agency and being willing to just do things. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but you just try and do it, and you do things quickly. I think that's probably like the most important thing. I've kind of lost track of what your question was, to be completely honest, but yeah, risk. You need to be able to take risk, and people with high agency tend to be more willing to take on bigger risks. And I also think there's this this thing I read where if you don't take the usual path and expect unusual results. Don't just like do what you feel is the normal thing to do, and don't constantly do that if you're expecting to live a life that isn't just like a normal life, that sort of, textbook life.
That's great. I'm out of questions. I'm sure more will pop up. Nath, is there anything that pops up in your head?
Nothing really on the top of my head. Yeah, no, I don't got anything right now.
Well, this is what I always do when I'm trying to meet new people. By the way, Will, this is my first time talking to you, and believe it or not, this is the first time I'm talking to Nath too. This is the first time for me as well. This is like meeting new people, and I always ask this: how's your day? What'd you guys do today? So I actually asked Nath that already. So it's just you, Will. How's your day?
Good. It's been a wonderful day. Weather's beautiful in Melbourne today. So our biggest sport in Australia is called Australian Football League. It's called AFL, and we call it footy over here. We call it football, but it's not soccer. And it's a bit more similar to like the ball that they use in like
rugby.
like rugby.
Yeah.
It's not rugby, but the ball
okay.
they use is a similar shape. You like run and you kick it and stuff. It's a completely different sport, but the ball's a similar shape. And the grand final for that is today, which is like a huge day in Australia. Like it's a long weekend. People get Friday off. So that's happening today. So I haven't been following it, but just like there's good vibes from that. Just being out, seeing people representing their team. And in terms of like today itself, I had a really good day. I have like a Whoop band. I woke up, I saw that I reduced my sleep debt. I've been having some pretty poor sleep lately because I've just been up grinding and just doing other things, waking up super early. Most days I've been waking up at like 5 a.m. to start work. So that's been messing up my sleep a little bit because I get to bed at like 10. So that's not enough time to sleep. But yeah, today reduced my sleep debt and then woke up, immediately tackled the most important task of the day, which was recording a voiceover, which I did literally just before making lunch, which is when I went on YouTube and was like, hey, what should I just put on in the background while I'm making some lunch? And I found your stream. So yeah, pretty good day. It's only 1 p.m. so the day's still young. Still got a lot to do. But yeah, I'm really feeling like I've already completed the main part of my day. So everything else I get done today is a bonus. And I might even, go out and do something this afternoon since the weather's so nice to get some air.
That's great. By the way, Will, I've noticed at least your personality, it's very methodical, where you're very conscious of what you're doing. And I can tell through your knowledge with dopamine and Whoop. Is this something you put a lot of your attention towards? Because for me, I used to watch and binge watch a lot of Andrew Huberman content. Now I've really steadied off of it just because I got all the information I needed. So, to ask again, is science something that you value a lot in your day to day, or is it something you've learned and moved on?
I would say, yeah, for sure. I mean, I pay a lot of attention to my health, and especially in the last year, I had a pretty big fitness journey. I used to be obese, making YouTube videos.
Wow.
And I lost over 30 kilograms of weight. I don't know how many pounds it is, but it's
like
a
60.
good amount of weight.
Yeah, it's around like 60.
So I lost a ton of weight this year, and I've just been sort of when you're working out and you're trying to bulk, there's you can clean bulk, you can dirty bulk. And in terms of my productivity, if we were to apply that same logic in terms of having clean productivity, which is having good sleep, waking up and at a bit earlier than usual, but going to bed earlier, and making sure that you're giving your body enough nutrients and whatever you need to be productive and focused, that's like a clean productivity. Dirty productivity is when you're I was drinking white monsters, I was having a lot of caffeine, I was not care about my sleep at all. I was having dirty productivity.
Well, it's so funny you mentioned that because during my conversation with Nath, he was literally talking about how after work he would occasionally slam some, was it Monster or Red Bulls to work on YouTube?
It's basically white monsters. I have a whole case back there in my closet, just ready for any time in the mornings. Any time I need to crank out a really long editing session, I just bust one out and just start going at it.
Yeah. So for me, this last year, I've been really focused on clean productivity because I could have all the money in the world and everything I ever dreamed of, but if I'm an obese guy getting out of my Porsche, no one's gonna first of all, I'm gonna feel horrible, but everyone's gonna
lose
look at
aura.
you just away. Exactly. And that's not a way to live. And also you just die early. If you're massively overweight, you're gonna die early. The chances of you dying early are so much higher. Getting not only just this extra strain you're putting on your joints that are gonna shorten your mobility into the future, but it's also so bad for your brain, for your testosterone production. There's so many reasons to not be in that weight that I was okay, it doesn't even matter if I'm just being super productive, getting a lot done, making a lot of money. If I am treating my body in a way it's disposable and I'm gonna be in my 50s or 40s and sick, that's no way to live. Doesn't matter how much money you have if you're feeling that way and if you're appearing as that way in that age. So for me, it's not only about just focusing on, hey, how can I optimize my online business to set my future up well? How can I optimize the way I'm living to set my physical future up well and my health? So that was a big thing for me this year.
So Will,
Well,
I actually do have a question regarding that. Oh, sorry. But you mentioned your work-life balance. So I had a question about that. So do you ever have those days, I know you're probably on it most days, but do you ever have just those days where you just feel I cannot be bothered to even open up Premiere Pro today? I can't just do any of this work. I just cannot do it. What is your approach to that? Do you just call it for the day and just get right back on it tomorrow, or is there something that you do to overcome that?
I would say it depends on why you're feeling that way. Are you just avoiding temporary discomfort, or have you worked yourself into the ground and you just really need to reset? One of the quickest ways of bouncing back, I find, is to literally go and lie on the floor, close your eyes, have no audio, have no external stimulation, and just let your brain have its thoughts and just see what you're thinking about and see what you're paying attention to. And generally doing this, you'll have some sort of rested feeling when you're done. You do it for like 15 minutes, and you'll have like an urge to do something, because you, like for me, I can't stand doing nothing. I need to be doing something. That's why I don't like. I'm not someone who's gonna go and book like 2 months at some like beach resort to just like lay down all day and do nothing. I'm gonna be sitting there like, oh, what could I be doing? What could I be following up? Like, it's just my lifestyle. But, you know, it depends how you're living, depends what your drive is like, your natural drive, and how much you're having to actually push yourself versus being naturally driven towards doing something. But the more you have to push yourself, the more you're going to get burnt out while doing that. And the faster you're going to sort of have that moment where it's like, I don't even want to open my editing software. You know, that's when you have that moment. But the way of breaking that, first try that thing I said about just removing all stimulation, lying down, and just having a reset. And then after that, try breaking down the task into the most frictionless way possible. Be like, okay, I'm only going to edit 2 minutes of this video. That's really easy. That's going to take 15 minutes. Just open it up, achieve that, set a timer for it. But once you've done that, you've had a small win. And having that productivity and succeeding is just having multiple wins, having momentum, and letting that momentum continue, and then increasing that momentum as you go. It's the same with growth on YouTube, is you got to be posting weekly. And then, you know, if you miss a week, you've just lost momentum. But if you can keep posting weekly, you're building up momentum every single time. And then if you can increase that, like I now do 2 times a week, now I have even more momentum. It's just continuously going. So I'd say that's it.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Well, have you read Reality Transurfing at all or heard of it?
No, what's that about?
It's like this giant book. It was recommended by Iman Gadzhi, but I don't watch him at all. That's where most people hear of it. I heard it from my cousin. He recommended me that book, and it's very similar to what you talked about. It's some Russian physicist, so it's actually translated into English. I did a little bit of research into it. They said the translation is done very well, and it's a lot of what you've consistently mentioned. There's many ways different books interpret like human emotions and how to be conscious, but one of its main ideas is pendulums. I'm happy you mentioned it, because at least for me, I used to struggle the same way with work ethic. It's because sometimes you're very swept up into this pendulum where you're concerned about some random thing, you've been scrolling too much, so your energy, your consciousness is taken away from other things. And by the way, Will, this was something I wanted to ask earlier. Since you lost the weight, was there a big shift in your mental state, how clearly you were able to think, and socially, how did people treat you differently?
Socially, positive. Like, obviously, when you're very overweight, people just treat you differently, and they might not even be trying to do that, but they do that. And especially when you're fat, you don't feel that comfortable in photos. You feel like you need a certain angle to like look better, and you're just like having all these thoughts. You become insecure, and some people will like say that they own it, and they're like, you know, hey, I'm plus size or whatever. Like, there's a lot of people trying to like put it in a positive light, but I feel like in most cases, or at least my own, you start feeling insecure about how you look, and that then makes everything you do in the context of being fat. I'm sitting in this chair while being fat. I'm gonna book this plane ticket while being fat. It sounds dumb, but when you're in that position, that's what you're thinking of, and it sort of degrades how you see yourself. I would say, you know, that's definitely a social negative, but also a mental negative. I would say the only thing about losing weight as fast as I have is it can actually kind of mess with your brain chemistry and take a while for your brain to sort of readjust. So I actually noticed a drop in focus and clarity after I lost a lot of weight. I noticed this drop of being able to just like lock in and focus. And part of that could also come from the fact that while I'm losing weight, I'm not drinking like a ton of energy drinks. I'm not eating a ton of foods that are full of like sugar and all these other things that give you that short-term energy but hurt you long-term. I would say, yeah, there's definitely like, it's not all a positive thing. It's actually quite a battle having your brain chemistry readjust to a new weight. But that's something that from everything I've read, over time it readjusts and you get back into the prime position. And being in a healthy weight range is actually really good for your brain function. And, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of positives that come from that, aside from, you know, the temporary pain for the long-term gain. That's really how I see it.
Yeah, there's many studies on IQ and just like correlation with weight. There's a lot of like cognitive studies as well. Reaction time, depending on how heavy you are. Funny enough, Nath was talking about earlier how he used to also be overweight, and I used to be also really overweight. So that's something all three of us could relate
Oh my gosh,
with.
all three of us.
Yeah. I didn't lose as many pounds though. I lost like 30 pounds or 15 kilos compared to the 30.
Nice.
By the way, I'm completely out of things to ask. Is there anything you wanted to say or Nath wanted to ask?
Well, for me, I was just going to say that book you mentioned earlier, the Russian one, kind of reminded me of a book I read a while back, Psycho-Cybernetics, which is very much about like psychology. It was actually, the book was written by it was like a plastic surgeon who would like help people fix their faces, I think. And he noticed that a lot of people, despite having their image fixed, still had the mindset of when their face was like really ugly and destroyed from whatever happened. It might have been after World War II or something. And he basically just like wrote all about like how he went from fixing people's faces to fixing people's brains, I believe, and how much you see yourself, how much that changes your actions and your capabilities. Like, do you see yourself as someone capable of achieving something, or do you see something as impossible and that you're just not that person? Like, are you an older person who's just like saying like, oh, I'm not a tech person, and then limiting yourself from ever learning technology, when in reality, like, old people can learn technology, but the fact they have a closed mind to it means they can't do it. Or if you're someone who's like, I'm not a math person, like I can't do math. But okay, hold on. You saying that is the reason you can't do math, because you're then closing opportunities to learn that, and also closing off the potential that you can do math and learn how to do math well. Math's a skill. You can learn how to do math well if you don't know how to do math, or if you like just feel like you're naturally bad at it. That's something you can improve, but you'll never improve that if you're thinking you're just not a math person. Same with like growing on YouTube. You can't think like, I'm not a 1 million subscriber person. Like I couldn't have that. You're not going to reach 1 million subscribers if you're thinking that way. Whereas for me, I forgot another book I read. Forgot what the book was. This is what happens when you read like books all the time. Is you forget what book and what information. But another book I read was like, well, if you want to be in that position, you should start acting like the person in that position right now. You shouldn't wait until you feel like you have permission to act like you're in that position. You need to start doing that now to become that person. So if you want to become a superstar tennis player, you need to have a tennis racket in your room. You need to be waking up early and training every single morning and doing the behaviors of someone who is that, not just wishing about it. And here's another nugget, which came from Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. Really good book. And it's that a lot of us want people to judge us by our goals and ambitions, but in reality, people are going to judge you from your actions. And you need to make sure that you're spending more time on your actions than you are sitting there daydreaming about what you could be or what you could have done. Because people aren't going to look at what you were thinking you could have done 2 years ago. They're going to look at where you are now. So you need to sort of drop that ego or wanting to seek that validation of like, hey guys, I want to be a billionaire in 5 years. Like, you should be my friend. You should support me. You should, pay attention to me. Instead, you should just be putting in the actions of someone who would achieve that. And then once you have achieved that, you are that person. You no longer need to be represented by your goals. You be represented by who you are.
I'd love to add on top of what you mentioned, because a lot of people will take what you said and they'll make excuses. It's very difficult, Will. It's very difficult. But a much more tangible and scientific way to go about it is that there's a study all about placebo, and they injected the patients with saline water, which does nothing to their body, right? And they injected them with this other drug that would quantifiably affect their hormones. And what's very important about placebo and it actually working is you need to be aware of what the thing is going into your body. So maybe it could be the thoughts that you're choosing to consume. And then additionally, you have to kind of see results for it to take full effect. So long story short, after they injected people with the drug and then the fake drug, there was an equal amount of hormonal difference, even though they were injected with just water in their body. So I think it's very important and underrated with how powerful your mindset is, and more importantly, how you choose to view yourself and how you choose to view incidents, events that happen in your life. It's more or less, we don't have control, but we can control how we interpret things. That's how I see it.
100%. That's super valuable to think about as well. Like, totally agree. Like, I think even like the effects, like when you look at studies of nootropics, and nootropics are basically chemicals and substances that improve your cognition, improve your brain in whatever way, whether it's memory recall, verbal fluency, whatever. You'll look at like the studies for them, and in almost every case, the study of someone who didn't have the substance still had an improvement. And even when you have that, even if it makes like in reality a 0.1% increase, the fact that you're taking that action, like if you wake up in the morning, you take like a vitamin supplement, the fact you are actively working towards making that change and putting the thought into it means that it's going to reflect more on the actions you take after that.
By the way, well, because you've been on your health journey recently, I'm someone who loves taking like a bunch of supplements because it's so low cost and the benefits are there. Are there any supplements that you enjoy taking?
Yeah, quite a few, but like I struggle to stay like very consistent, and I often cycle between things because you will have a supplement for a while and then it won't work after a bit. I'd say like the main one, like I like to make sure I'm getting supplementing my choline. I always read the word, I'm not even sure how to say it correctly, but like alpha GPC or citrulline. And this is basically something in your brain that helps, it improves the accessibility of this material in your brain. But aside from that, you know, just like making sure, for me, it's about mainly just being as wholesome as I can, making sure I'm having a balanced diet, making sure I'm drinking enough water, and making sure I'm trying to sort of extract what I can from my body without too many external things. And it depends what the external thing is, like creatine. Like there's no reason anyone's not taking creatine unless you're like a vegan and against creatine or whatever. Even then, I feel like creatine is synthetic, right? So I'm pretty sure vegans can have it. But basically, creatine, like that's something that's a no-brainer. Everyone should be having creatine every single day because it improves your brain health and improves your physical health. But for other supplements, like it really depends. Like if you're getting stressed out, you're anxious, L-theanine is pretty good calming. Or some people like ashwagandha, which is another substance that can, you know, I personally don't like taking it. It can remove my motivation. Like while it can be calming, it can make you less motivated to complete things. But obviously like caffeine is a big one. That's probably one of the biggest. But I would say like don't take a bunch of things. Like don't go over the top taking a bunch of things because you think like, oh, the more things I take, the smarter I get, the more I can do. That's never really the case. Always, like in my opinion, always have the lowest dose of the least that you can, and just to get the minimum of what you need, because you should be able to naturally be productive and focused and locked in. And if you overdo it, then when you're not doing it, when you're not having those things, you're not going to be able to just in a natural, completely calm state get things done without anything else. So you need to make sure that you're working on improving yourself rather than over supplementing and getting sort of a requirement of needing these things to then work and get stuff done.
I think it's a great point you mentioned about dependency. I think it's something Alex Hormozi mentioned where he meets a lot of successful people and they have this weird shiny object. I need my blanket so I can succeed, because they have this association with their success. Me personally, I take a lot of supplements. I take like L-theanine, I take ashwagandha for like my testosterone. I don't know about you guys. Do you guys go outside a lot? Because for me, I'm usually just inside. I'm working, I'm walking on the treadmill. And what I've noticed is if you take vitamin D3 and K2, there's a significant, at least for me, there's a significant increase in my testosterone. Like once I take it versus when I hop off of it.
And how are you measuring that?
Very explicit. It's how I wake up, if you know what I mean.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I literally, you know, I've watched a lot of videos and they talk about like types of supplements. What would you take if you only had to take one? And they always put vitamin D3, K2 in like top 5, top 3. For me, it's my number one, just because, at least for my lifestyle, I love being inside. I love just like working on the computer, walking on the treadmill, talking to people. So it's game changing if you guys are inside quite often. That's the thing I would only take if I had to pick one.
Yeah, they're good.
Dude, you probably have like some crazy steps on that treadmill. Like, what's your step count right now, if you're keeping track?
Yeah, so like, speaking of longevity with Will, I'm trying to do like a moist critical Joe Rogan type of thing where I also plan to do this for years. Like, what people see them explode immediately, but it took them like decades. They've been doing it for at least a decade until they become heavily recognized, and they post content on whatever they want, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'll post content like what I find interesting. I also want to do like IRL stuff. So right now I'm working on a video on how to get a six pack, and it's quite simple. It's just have a treadmill and whatever vice people suffer with, which is like pretty much phone time, I'd say incorporate that. Like you don't have to throw it away. So my step count, to cut it short, is as of now, like the past month, it's been like 30,000 to 20,000 steps. And I'm just like here, just walking.
Per day?
Yeah. Yeah, 20,000, 30,000. Yeah, dude, I actually, if you guys don't mind, I'd love to show it to you guys because like I am quite proud of it. So like for today, right? Is this upside down? Is it like flipped for you guys or?
Oh no, yeah, I can see that.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, so boom, right? It's just like, just look at all these steps. It's unbelievable. And you can see how many calories I've burned, which is sometimes up to close to 700, but I always try to hit 390. So it's just for a video I'm working on where it's like self-improvement and like weight loss. Because for me, I love eating food. That's why I have so much pimples, right? I love eating food. It's something I enjoy. So I'd rather try to like find solutions, and that's what I do.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I
It's
prefer,
awesome.
I prefer if I'm going to walk, doing it in nature, doing it outside. Like this year
Yeah.
I got a puppy, or I spend every day I go out and get outside and get in the sun and just, walk on the grass. But that is interesting. Like I've seen a lot of people getting like the walking pads. Maybe something I should consider getting, because I've got a standing desk, so I definitely could do with one. Where
Yeah.
do you buy yours from?
I got it from Amazon. You can even get it from like anywhere. It doesn't really matter. The price is around 100, so it's relatively cheap for like what you're getting. And at least for me, I've tried a standing desk. Maybe I'm standing more, but my joints, I can walk for like 4 hours and I'm fine. But if I stand for more than 30 minutes, my hips feel weird. My knees start like feeling a little bit of aching. My joints like near the ankles. I don't know if you suffer from that, but that's what I've noticed every time I'm standing. Standing right now, I'm
No, I
assuming,
haven't.
or? Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm sitting. I got a very ergonomical chair as well. It's a Herman Miller Embody, so it's very, very good for my back. But when I do stand, I don't have that issue. But I think it might be because I bought an anti-fatigue mat that I stand on, and it sort of is like this lightly cushioned pad that you stand on that changes how you distribute your weight from your joints.
I've never heard of that,
So that
believe it
could
or
be
not. How much
Probably
was
get
it,
one
by the
if
way?
you're standing there.
Yeah.
You can get them for like 20. Well, I don't know how much USD is. Probably like $20. They're
Yeah.
pretty cheap. It's just like a phone
Oh, no
pad
way.
that you stand on.
Oh, that's awesome. By the way, Nath, I was gonna ask you this, but before, what's your job? You said you did construction in one of your videos, like your part-time job.
Oh, no, it's not construction. It's a digital printing company. But I like to label it as a factory job because it basically is with what we're doing, because they have like an entire streamlined process of how they give us all the work. So we do a lot of like the books and recipes for a bunch of restaurants. So like Olive Garden, Disney, we do a lot of their promotional stuff, like a lot of their posters. And then if you know the restaurant Longhorn Steakhouse, we do a lot of their stuff too. So that's basically like the gist of it. So we make like a whole bunch of books, a whole like recipe books, or like the drink books, like how to make all their cocktails and everything. That's basically what we do over there.
And by the way, I'm running out of stuff to talk about. I will say though, this is a thing I always mention. So, and by the way, no pressure. If you guys want to leave anytime, we're all good. This was quite the long conversation anyway. Have you guys been on cruises? I love cruising. I just went on one.
I have. It's been like 2 years though.
Like on a boat?
Yeah.
Oh my! Will, have you been on a cruise before?
No, not like one that you would sleep on. I've been on boats before, but not like a cruise trip. No.
You know,
it's
like
quite the experience.
you know, like the cruise culture. They have like these giant boats where they even have real plants, like a whole city, 10,000 people, like people who pay to be on the boat. They have another 5,000 employees that are there to assist you. It's like giant. They have theme parks. They have skating rinks, like ice skating. They have bumper cars, all in one boat, by the way. They have comedy clubs. They have like 20 restaurants. Did I say park? They have like 2,000 original plants inside of a boat. I've been on one recently for a video, and I'm going on another just because it was so fun, Will. I'm not even kidding. It's if you like to vacation, I would consider it. I could rave on about it.
Yeah, sounds like fun. I just never thought about it. I thought that was for like couples in their 60s to do, but yeah, that sounds interesting. I mean, just never thought about it. You know, I like flying places, and being in Australia, like I'm not even sure like what cruises we have here.
Yeah.
We probably have some, but I've never sort of looked into that, and but yeah, I'm sure I'll do one day. But internet connection is also a pretty big thing for me. Like wherever I travel, I'm trying to make sure I can at least like be accessing a decent quality of internet to continue my work and sort of everything I'm running.
Yeah, believe it or not, it used to be really bad because obviously it was in the middle of the ocean, but now every single cruise uses Starlink. So there's a lot of YouTubers, like solely cruise YouTubers who are like just cruising every single day, and they're posting videos. They're going live on the cruise just because Starlink is so good. And you're right about the old people. It depends on what cruise, right? So if you go to like a very luxury cruise, it only attracts rich people. But then there's also like cruises for people like our age where it's more budget friendly, where it's much more rowdy, it's more party based. So it really depends on the cruise line you plan on going towards. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely something I'm probably gonna explore at some point. Probably do a nice cruise somewhere. Maybe like there's some that like go across and throughout Europe. Probably would do one of those like through the rivers in Germany or whatever. But yeah, definitely cruises, man. Sound pretty interesting. Yeah, I'm kind of lost for what to talk about next, to be honest with you. I'm just looking at your channels. I joined this
all
call
good.
not knowing who like, either of you are, being on stream. Yeah, I don't think I haven't been on stream since I hit 1 million subscribers, which is a year ago now. Wow. And I don't do interviews either, so this is just, you guys caught me at like the perfect moment. Like this is the first podcast I've been on, aside from my own creator podcast. Yes, this is a cool experience. So Noth, your YouTube channel, are the videos sort of like commentary based about like Gen Z?
Yeah, for the most part, but I've been in this in-between stage to where I really want to shift out of that style of content to where I want to talk about like different topics, but my main issue is that it takes so long to produce one of my videos because it's just me now only making the videos. So on average, it takes about 2 weeks to make one video. That's like my main issue.
So it's a production bottleneck. And is that like how long are you actually spending making the video versus time actually productively spent on the video when you're working on a video? Like how many hours, like if you were to have pure productivity, you're in a flow state, how many hours do you need to make one video?
Probably like a good 10 to 15 just for one.
And is that like mostly spent on researching or editing, or what's the part that takes the longest time?
No, definitely just editing by far. I don't typically like to script my videos because I like to just go off what I think in my head, because that's how I do a lot of it, to where if I script a lot of my videos, it kind of feels a little fake and forced, and I'm also like looking off a lot in different directions of my camera. So when I'll have like notes on the side just so I don't like go completely off track, but then I'll just ramble about a lot of the topics that I'm talking about or whatever the subject is for the video. So it comes off as more, I say things that I wouldn't normally say if I had a script. It's like a lot of relatable stuff. So a bunch of like little random things here and there. But typically I can knock out just recording a video in like one afternoon. But it's mainly just the editing part that always gets me, is that it takes so long, especially since I'm not full-time YouTube and I have a part-time job. So that also does like take a bit of time away from actually being able to make it, especially coming home from after like a 10-hour shift at work. Like I know that's not really an excuse, but when you have to
when you're like at your job for 8 to 10 hours and you come back and you have to do creative work with your brain, it really isn't like a
I
good
know how you
mix
feel.
for the
It's
truth.
harder.
Yeah, it's
It is
definitely
harder.
like way different.
Yeah, it's like trying to do pull-ups with like weights strapped around you.
Exactly.
Like, it's definitely harder. It's possible, but it's harder. But the good thing about it is, just like if you were doing pull-ups with weights strapped around you, that's making you stronger. And it's putting you in an even better position that if you were to be able to spend more time, then it would massively scale. That happened to me because I was working multiple jobs. I was really just doing YouTube in all my spare time. And the moment I was able to free myself up and then have all that time, it felt like I just unlocked like the biggest thing ever. But I would say like one thing I want to mention, just to pull it back a bit from earlier, you said that you can knock out a video like recording in an afternoon, but then it takes you like 2 weeks of editing. Do you think when someone watches your video that it's the editing that makes up 80% of why they want to watch? Or do you think that's what you're talking about?
I think it's a bit of both. Not entirely the editing, but mainly it's just my unique style of how I edit. So a lot of like a big thing that I do with my videos, and one thing that I'm known for is that my calendar back there, I always put like a bunch of random like memes or shit posts in there, just to kind of like a retention thing to just keep people's attention, but also like, what's gonna appear next back there? So it's not finding those that are difficult. It's mainly like I'll get started on a video and I'll start editing. But I mean, the whole just trying to get started and the whole process of thinking about what is to come just really puts me off to where I'll start the video, but then I won't get anything done because I'll just be thinking about how much I still have left to do versus how much I've done already. And I know like you mentioned that earlier, just split it up into different portions, just like make it easier to approach. And I've done that, but then I'll still feel that part of me to where I just really don't want to open up Premiere some days, or even when I do and I'll crank it out, I'll get a whole bunch done. Just the whole momentum dies, basically. And there's like no consistent workflow to it. Even though I've done so many of these videos now, it just still doesn't feel like there's any consistency to how it is.
Have you tried posting videos with like less editing, or even like if you had the first minute or 2 minutes with the editing, but then just like pulled it back a bit and focus more on what you're talking about?
There was one, and that was me having to explain a serious situation on how I got falsely banned on Instagram. And even then, that video was off the gate. It was one of my worst performing videos ever.
So yeah, one's really not enough data to actually see, but when I look at your channel and when I like take into account what I've learned on YouTube and the other channels I've looked at, I feel like you would be better. And first of all, this is just, you obviously don't have to do this. This is just me sharing my thoughts. But I think you'd be better off if you scaled back the editing to a point where you can post weekly. Like if you just cut back whatever you can until you can post weekly. And once you're consistent with weekly, figuring out how you can bring those elements back into your videos without sacrificing the consistency. Because with the rate you're going, even if you have a video that performs really well, if you can't post another video for 1 or 2 months, that momentum from that video is gone. You know, you'll have a lot more momentum if you're able to, even if it's not perfect, get something out for them. And the ratio of why people watch your videos, I haven't watched the videos, the editing could be insane, but from what I've learned, editing matters a lot less than everyone expects, like a lot less. Even my videos, people might watch my videos and think that if they want to have a video do well in the space, they need to have, you know, this super high standard of editing, or even just have a video on YouTube, they need to have motion graphics that, you know, are extremely expensive to pay someone to do, because each minute of my video takes hours of work to put together. It's all custom motion graphics. It's not something that's fast or easy to do. But the reality is, I could probably film my videos with like 50% face cam, cut in half the editing, and I'm not going to see a 50% drop in views or retention or people who watch my content. I'm not going to see that drop. But that would be a positive change to make if that meant I could then upload more and be more consistent.
Oh, Will, I don't want to interrupt.
I'll definitely try that out.
Oh, go ahead.
No. I was done talking.
I don't want to interrupt. I'm so happy we're here. I didn't want to waste your time because I know you charge for it for like YouTube advice. Will, I don't. My problem is a little bit different, so I'll give you a little bit of context. I'd love a little bit of your input on my YouTube channel as well. Different problems. I actually don't know what my problem is, right? I'm assuming it's maybe I could improve the titles and thumbnails. Maybe I could also improve the watch time. I don't really have difficulties with posting a lot or editing a lot. So like my most recent video was some random video about Kanye. It really came impromptu, and it took me around 48 hours to create. And my thought process, like long term, I watched recently an Alex Hormozy live stream, and he talked about like creating a valuable audience, and that comes from a lot of time spent with them. That's why I decided to pick up live streaming again. That's why I'm also deciding to interview people so I could later repost it to even build like a stronger fan base. I'm posting a lot. That's my thought process, is to build a strong fan base. And also I try to make as high quality videos as I can, but also not over obsess the edits as well. So I'm assuming maybe it could be like a retention thing where I need to format it better, maybe better ideas. But from a first glance, I'd love to see your outside perspective as a professional on my channel. So that's the context.
So I just pulled up your channel for the first time ever. Because, believe it or not, when I clicked on the stream, it didn't show me any of your videos. It didn't even show me who you were. I just was like, well,
cool.
This sounds like an interesting conversation. Let's hear into it. But looking at your channel, the first thing I see is that you have videos that range a really broad range of like how long the video is. Like there's a 8-minute 30 video, and then there's like a video next to it, which is a hour 27, which looks like it might be a stream VOD that was turned into a video.
Yes, exactly.
I would say it's difficult to like early on on YouTube, you really need to be focusing on what signals you're sending the platform and what you're telling YouTube you make, so that YouTube can clearly like understand what you do and who it's for. And if you confuse it too much, if you do too many different things, then YouTube's not going to know like who to put your videos in front of. And I think that might be an issue you're going to face if there's like one video is Asian guy interviews another Asian YouTuber, and then why Kanye West might be a philosophical genius. What's YouTube thinking in that moment? Like, what's the correlation between these two videos? It's really hard. Whereas if you look at my channel, for example, there's a strong correlation between every video. They're similar length, and they're also they're either like two out of 3 elements of each video is something that is from my channel usually. Like that's normal from my channel, like the format of the video, or it's the topic that's like a topic I've covered before, or a YouTuber, and then it's the packaging for the video, which is either an experiment or it's a very recognizable packaging from my brand that I've built up over the years. I'd say for you, it seems like you're still like trying to find what direction you want to go in. A lot of the thumbnails are sort of changing massively from each other. Like if I had a glance at your latest videos and I looked at the last, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. If I looked at your last 12 videos in the grid, that could be just a YouTube homepage. I wouldn't necessarily know that this is the one channel that posted all of these videos, because they're all so different to each other that it literally could be the homepage of someone who watches some like self-improvement videos or interview videos with streamers and YouTubers, or commentary videos on OnlyFans. I see that. That's another video. Like these are, you're just creating so much in like these different directions and with these different elements in the videos that it's making it hard for YouTube to like be like, oh, this guy does this, that is good for this audience, and we're gonna promote him to this audience.
Perfect.
YouTube's sort of like, okay, we're not sure what this guy does. Who do we show them to? They might show you to the wrong person, then that gives negative signals to YouTube, and YouTube's thinking, oh, these people just don't like the video. It must be a bad video. But in reality, your video might be a really good video, but it was just shown to the wrong people because you've been confusing the algorithm.
Perfect. So I have 2 questions, right? I just want to explain my thought process, not like making excuses. So like the reason why it is like that was because I was, as I mentioned earlier, I was planning to do this like a long-term thing. And that's why I noticed with Moist Critical, where he switches topics a lot. It's drama content, and then it jumps to video games, stream VODs, and also jumps to like movie reviews. But it makes sense why it would mess up the algorithm and confuse myself. And yeah, thinking about it from the outside, it makes a lot of sense because, yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense because it's more important to like grow first and then start experimenting. So my question for experimenting is there a ratio you're looking for? Should I make more adjacent type videos or could it just be like completely a random video that I would personally want to upload?
So really just like the main thing is not posting too many in a row, like trying to space them out between things you think are reliably successful, things that you know people want, validated ideas. And when you're experimenting, it really comes down to what I explained earlier about experimenting on like one of the three elements that goes into a video. So maybe it's your interview format, but your subject of your interview is changing, but you're keeping the same packaging. Or, you know, any other way of swapping around each element. Maybe it's not an interview stream, but you're still making a video with another YouTuber, but maybe it's more planned out and you've like filmed it in person. You know, like there's so many different things that can be swapped out and changed, but it's just making sure that it's not like changing all three things across like multiple uploads in a row where you sort of lose your identity of like who you are.
Okay, and just like one more question that has popped up in my head. So let's say I picked the theme of like self-improvement, psychology based, and my angle or how I present it, package it would be towards like the generic drama videos, right? David, Charlie Kirk, all those type of videos where it's about drama, but the twist is obviously going to be towards things I'm interested in, which would be psychology and self-improvement, like what type of lessons to extract from it. Would it be, or would it make sense if I maintained the same angle of self-improvement, psychology, but instead of changing one of the three, it would be like self-improvement, but like for vacation, like perspective, philosophy, but it's on like a vacation type of video. For example, cruise, because I have a cruise plan, so I was hoping I can make a video off of it. But if it doesn't make sense, I obviously will not invest my resources into it.
Well, it's like, how can you fit that into what's working for you, right? And it's going to take time. Like, there's a tough time at the start for everyone figuring out who you are, what works, how do you find what works. And then every creator goes through this, and it's really the creators that keep pushing forwards and just keep trying stuff that actually succeed. Like, that's really the only difference. Is there's some that will get overwhelmed by it and they'll just stop and they'll give up. And it's the people who just like keep pushing and pushing and be like, okay, just a little further. And those are the ones who actually make it through. So you just got to keep trying. And
Perfect.
You got to you got to see videos when they don't perform well as lessons on like, oh, what can I take away from this? How can I make this? Like this is another thing. I sort of got to dig back into something I explained to my school community last week. And it's that how you perceive fails. Like let's say I work on a video and I invest $1,000 into this video's production. This video goes up and it makes me $200. The video doesn't get that many views. It doesn't go as expected. That might feel like a fail because I've just lost $800 on this video. But if I learn information from this fail that then helps me invest $1,000 into another video but make $2,000 back and puts me $200 profit or whatever it adds up to be, was that first video still a fail? Or is that actually contributing to a win? So for me, I just like to see when something doesn't perform as I hoped it does, as an opportunity to learn and flip it into a win. So I would say just try to view things with that mindset rather than like, nothing's working for me. I'm going to just like drastically experiment even more and just like try to find something, be like, okay, that didn't work. These things have worked before. Why didn't this work for me? What were the factors that contributed to that? And how can I learn from that to ensure that future attempts are better educated?
Perfect. So just to recap, the first thing I should focus on is just maintaining a general brand. So like using the same thumbnails, making sure it's like within the same topics that the algorithm and the viewers could easily recognize. Just to like double check.
Yeah, be predictable.
Perfect.
Be predictable.
Perfect. Thank you. I have a few videos like already pretty much done, but I'm gonna act on it today for like the future videos. So I really appreciate that, Will.
No worries. Anyway, guys, I got a dip because I got some more work to do today, but it was lovely having this conversation and meeting both of you. Like, I feel like just from your conversation, I could tell that you both have a lot of potential and you're both like very similar to how I was when I was starting out as well. You're having a lot of the same thoughts I had, and, you know, just keep pushing forwards. That's the biggest thing. Don't give up, and also don't like feel discouraged by videos not performing well, because as I said before, a video not performing well can be a win. It just depends how you frame it. And it's the people who frame things in like a way that benefits them that succeed. It's not people who take like a victim mentality and just, you know, that mentality of, oh, I'm not good at math. Those people don't get good at math ever because they have that mindset. So, you know, both of you just make sure you keep it up and don't give up. And eventually you'll be looking back at this conversation in the future and maybe even having the same conversation with someone else who's at this stage of their journey.
Nath, would you want to say anything before I end it off?
No, I mean, that was perfect. Just thank you so much for just randomly deciding to click on this stream on like the perfect time when we were just having this conversation.
Yes,
yeah, I mean, that's the internet, and that's luck, and that's same as how I feel about being born in Australia. I opened YouTube, and on my recommended feed at the top was this stream. It's crazy, all these little things that happen. And whilst you can make your own luck by working hard and sort of working towards a goal, there's so many just random things like this cool that can happen and like just change things for you.
Cool. I'm going to end it off. Thank you so much, Will, for coming, giving us the opportunity to even like talk and ask you questions. Thank you for your time. That's it. Everyone, thank you for watching. But Nath, if you want to still like stay in the call and like so we can geek out afterwards, that'd be awesome.
See you later, guys.
All right. Bye, Will. Oh my God. Okay. All right.
Oh my God.
All right, Nath. That was way longer than I expected. I bet it's quite late for you.
Okay, well, that's 2 different videos already. Bam.
What 2 videos? What happened for you? Oh, for me.
Yeah, for you.
Oh, dude. Well, after the conversation, I'm not gonna upload this. I'll probably maybe make it like a Patreon thing, or even make it
I mean,
second
definitely
channel
save
option.
it somewhere. I'm definitely gonna need the link to this, so I can.
Yeah, you're good. I mean, the live streams will be up. Ignore me. My mom's in the kitchen right now. But what did you think of that conversation? Like a quick little review before I let you go to sleep.
That was definitely very insightful. I think it's kind of crazy now how we're looking back at this conversation, exactly how he said that he was exactly in our positions, but now he's the one in, you know, the authority position, to where we're taking everything he said, even though he was in our exact same position, exactly like us. Everything that he says now, because he's achieved everything that we want, is so much more valuable. To where now he's like making so much money off of it. He's charging premiums just for this advice. So I think that's definitely like, that's really cool. How he just magically just appeared in the stream. Dude, is your channel like magic or something? Do your streams just have aura?
No.
Just appear on these feeds?
I think it's what he said with like the algorithms. Like every time I go live and it's like towards YouTube, like YouTubers, podcasts, it for some reason always like works out well. So like it's cool that he joined. I'm not like too surprised, right? Because for some reason a lot of these big YouTubers love giving advice to smaller people like us. I'm assuming like YouTubers have reached out to you before. It's very fun. I think the conversation was great. It's not like I learned a lot out of it. It helped me with at least the outside perspective. He's correct. I do it on purpose, where with my videos, it's like very scattered. But now that he's mentioned it, I was like, okay, I probably have to make it more funneled, right? Have it in a certain way, then funnel it to like the different content I'm still creating. It gave me a lot of confidence though, because whatever I'm doing right now, I know that I'm doing a good job, if that makes sense.
Right. Like, that definitely helps me out too. So a big thing that I was definitely struggling with was thinking about how I'm going
You're good.
I'm thinking about how I'm going to venture out into different types of content eventually. Because I don't want to stick with just the Gen Z niche. I personally think it's dying out, and that it's only like a matter of time before everyone just gets tired of it and just moves on to the next thing. Because that's basically what my channel has been about for about like the past year now. And so I think the big thing is that I personally don't feel like, of course, it doesn't matter what I feel like, but I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong necessarily with my content, my channel. But it's more or less that I need to stop over-editing my videos, basically. Like, you can see the effort that I put into it, but I think I need to scale it back now.
Yeah. I mean,
To
scale it back.
quite a level.
Scale it back. Hire someone. That's what I came to the conclusion of. Like, I used to have like a YouTube channel with like 5,000 subs all the way back in high school. And it was just like the same style where it's like internet historian, moving shit. And at some point I was like, nah, fuck this. I don't want to do this anymore. I bet. And then I just switched up the content where it's the same thing. I just dialed back the editing and the process became more fun. I think that's something maybe, I don't know, but at least for me, when I dialed it back, it became a lot more fun. It became way easier to be productive. But it's great. Hey, Nath, is there anything you wanted to talk about before we ended this off?
I do have one question. So, are you religious at all? Or does your family practice like any sort of religion? I mean, if you don't want to talk about this, we don't have to.
Oh, no. I'm not religious, but that doesn't mean I'm against it, right? I wouldn't say I'm agnostic either. It's more of, I know the pattern. People our age aren't very intrigued into religion. And then once you get closer to death, that becomes more significant in your life. People are scared of death. They need an explanation for death, so they go towards religion. But if I had to pick one, it's Buddhism. A lot of my beliefs are rooted in Buddhism. A lot of my philosophy is Buddhism, but I'm not Buddhist, if that makes sense.
Right. I think, so a lot of my family, I grew up in a very Christian household. So that's just naturally where my beliefs naturally just go to, is that that's exactly what I was taught ever since I was born, is that Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior. And a lot of things happen for a specific reason. Like everything is already planned out. So I'm thinking, would that interaction just be seen as God's will, per se? If that makes sense.
Yeah, so my interpretation of it is that genuinely I don't put much thought into it. It's the book I mentioned, Reality Transurfing. If there is something I could extract from this experience where it is beneficial, I put a lot of thought into it and try to extract as much. Same thing with failures, as he mentioned. But if there's nothing to really learn from it, I just move on. Something bad happens, I could interpret it in a very negative way. I don't really care. I move on. And with this, I view it positively, and I just move on from that. If that answers your question, or
No, yeah, absolutely. No, but yeah, I think that's about it. You already asked me all the questions that were basically like already on your mind. Like we're already running out of stuff to say.
Nah,
and
it
all of a
doesn't
sudden, boom! Then it turned into interviewing internet anarchists.
yeah, dude. I feel, dude. I'm gonna tell Chol this, bro. He's gonna be like, "What the fuck? Why not me?" Bro, no. Yeah, this was great, bro. And I'm not even kidding. I've been walking this whole time, bro. I've been walking this whole goddamn time.
Dude,
and
I know. I've been seeing you.
Bro.
I've been seeing it, man. Bro, your steps are fucking crazy.
I know. I wonder. Let's check right now. I have.
Dude, I'm so jealous. I shouldn't have returned mine.
Nah.
I had one earlier. It was too inconvenient.
Really? So
Yeah, because mine didn't fold. I saw like a bunch that like fold up.
Oh,
like,
mine don't
mine
fold
didn't do
either.
it. It's just
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah. I mean, you could like.
Mine was also like 50 pounds too.
It's heavy. So if you're curious, I walked a total of like 16,000 steps so far during this conversation.
I saw it, dude. You had like 7 miles on there, like 7.5 miles.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
it's freaking crazy.
I know. And what was it? Here's the thing. I've been working on the. Now that we mentioned, now I'm thinking like, fuck, should I even make the workout video? And I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time thinking about it, but shout out to Internet Anarchist. That guy's a cool guy, for sure.
No, definitely weird how a lot of us creators have a lot of similarities there, if that makes sense. To where I'm noticing a pattern to where a lot of creators have this sort of self-improvement journey to where we just read a whole bunch of books, like even in here, like I have a whole bunch of books just off to the corner. Yeah, I have this one, Effortless.
Oh,
right
by
here.
the way, I don't want me to interrupt. Internet Anarchist typed in the chat. He said, the conversation was great. Was a great break for me to get back to my workflow with my work. So shout out to Internet Anarchist. Thanks for the time.
Dude, absolutely. Thank you so much just for randomly just magically appearing. But no, another like big one is this one, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Like that's a big one that I always see a bunch of people recommend.
Yeah.
So it's that I'm thinking, is there just a direct correlation between your self-improvement journey and the longevity of your channel?
So here's the, you asked that question earlier, and I'll be honest. I think self-improvement YouTube overall is kind of like a fallacy, right? Because it's like the blind leading the blind. Like Hamza made a video about self-improvement, but he's like not done with it, if that makes sense. And usually you never are. But with self-improvement overall, I think a lot of people have different ways to express it. Does that make sense? So there's people in business that express their self-improvement through the entrepreneurship, through YouTube. People express it through their office day jobs. They express it through like Fresh and Fit. They express it through their dating apps or like how they interact with other people. But I think it's a thing successful people always do. They always read the same books because it's universal. The books are all great, if that makes sense.
Right.
But yeah, self-improvement is a requirement. It's definitely a requirement if you want to succeed. That doesn't mean you read the same books or whatever, but because at least all the books I've read, they pretty much have the same ideas but worded differently. Yeah, it was
But then you also see the people on TikTok who just live the completely opposite of exactly what we just talked about, and yet they're successful. So
yeah, that's why I mentioned earlier about Togi and like once in a while in my videos. More or less, with social media, you kind of fixate on the negative parts and their positive parts aren't highlighted, right? It's just like the news. People care more about like the negativity. So we the reason why some kid killed Charlie Kirk was quite simple because he was only fed the negative parts of who he was as a person. So there was never like a whole idea of who they are. And I guarantee you, for me and you and even Will, there's always like more of people have an association towards negativity than positive. It's kind of like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's like you'll talk to like let's say Bryce Hall, right? He has like the persona of being like that dumb, stupid frat bro. I guarantee you, man, that guy, if we have a conversation with him, he is just as intelligent as Will. It's everywhere. Like these people, you just don't, depending on the conversation you have, you don't really tap into their intelligence if you're not asking the right questions. That's how I view it.
Right. No, that's what I've noticed, that you've gotten really good at just asking very deep and difficult questions. Would you say that that's because of like your past or your natural interest? Because I remember there was one time, I'm not sure if you were like where you mentioned. I think it was in the interview with Chol, to where you mentioned that you used to be a tutor. Yeah, so I'm wondering, was there a lot of crossover with that and YouTube as well?
No, not at all. Honestly, the only reason why I became a tutor was so I could have authority over what I'm speaking about, right? Just so I can mention it once in a while. I always could have been a tutor. I just like never did it because who cares? I don't really care. But with the ability to ask questions, it's something I've always been interested in, right? So I remember reading How to Win Friends and Influence People at the very beginning. And honestly, there's a lot of self-improvement books out there that you'll read, people rave about, and they'll say it sucks stinky ass. And it's just because, or you'll read it and it'll suck stinky ass. And it's just because, at least for me, when I read some of these books, I'm like, I already know this. Why is this a book? And when I read How to Win Friends and Influence People, it was nice, but it wasn't that good for me because instinctively I knew it. So like in the book, 48 Laws of Power, the author says that the book exists for people who don't know. A lot of people instinctually know what he has written down in the book, but like for asking good questions and talking to people, I don't know why, but it's something I've been interested in. I'm not an extrovert. I actually get nervous and scared when I talk to people, but I'm also interested in psychology. So it's like a skill I've worked up, if that makes sense. Yeah, and I was like, you know what? Oh, go ahead.
No. You first.
Oh no, and I was like, you know what? Before I started the YouTube thing, I've always wanted to interview people. So I'm living that life now where if I have enough clout, I could just ask people for like an interview. And I've done that before. I remember interviewing this like 5'3", 5'4" guy, but I like that got no views. It did nothing, right? And I remember telling him this during the live stream. I was like, oh, by the way, we have 10 viewers. And he was like, what? I thought we had like at least 100. I'm like, but I was like, it wasn't for views. It was just because I wanted to talk to him. And I baited him with my clout, if that makes sense.
Dude, that's exactly what I was mentioning earlier, is that people treat you differently just because you have a bigger number next to your name.
Yes. Yes, and I use it to my advantage, man. I'll tell you what, right? I'm having fun now.
Dude, I wouldn't even be on this podcast if I didn't have 20,000 subs on YouTube.
100%, right? 100%. Some fucking guy said like, "Oh yeah, interview me," and it's just some random guy. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna interview you. Like, why would I do that? But I have fun with it. I obviously use what I've created to my advantage. It'd be dumb if I didn't. And I make TikToks for my mom.
Right.
I make TikToks for my mom, and she owns like a pizza store, so I run around recording TikToks. And sometimes I go to like food events. I go to food events, and I'm like, yo, let's trade food. So like, I'd give them a pizza. Pizzas are very like fundamentally cheap, but you know it's very expensive. Not just like the ingredients, but like the labor, the rent. So it's expensive. But I trade the food. I'll even make a TikTok for you, and I just get like $60 of free food. And I just record a TikTok for him, and you know, it's very fun. It's very fun to like. It's like here's a problem. I'm very happy and have fun with it, but at the same time, I know that $60 is not a lot of money. At the same time, you know what I mean?
Really depends on who you're asking, dude. $60
True.
of food for me, because I'm like the food deals guy. I get deals literally anywhere. I almost never pay full price for meals anymore.
Nice.
It's like $60 for me is like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
$60 for food? Because now I'm so used to just paying like less than $10 for everything now. For like,
you know what's
all my
funny?
food.
A long time ago, I made a video about like, can I eat fast food and like get a 6-pack or whatever, right? So I literally got a job at Chipotle, and the plan was to work as little as possible. So I got the job, and then I lowered the hours to 1 day a week for 4 hours. So that's all I would work. And when you're at Chipotle, you actually get the benefit of 50% off the entrees when you work there. But
Oh, that's crazy.
unbelievable, believe it or not, I talk to the employees. Obviously, they like me. I like them too. So when I come there, I get like double steak, maybe even triple once in a while. And they charge me $2-3. They charge me a bag of chips, bro. Sometimes they just slide it to me, and oh my God. I hated that I had to quit, but I needed to quit for like, you know, YouTube's sake. But it was so fun.
Dude, I'm about to go freaking work at Chipotle now. What the heck? Okay,
Dude.
wait. So this is completely off topic.
Yeah, go
but
ahead.
I remember I briefly tuned into the stream earlier, back when you like pinged everyone the server.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
"Ooh, what's this?" And I saw it was like you preparing to interview me. I saw you
Yeah.
like you clicked on my channel, and you looked at like the Friends video.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know, I directly stole that idea from your channel.
Yeah. I was like,
you-
I mentioned it, I think.
So you made a video a long time ago about like Friends.
Uh-huh.
And then I directly took that idea, but just put like my own different spin on it. And
Yeah,
talked
of
about,
course.
like, different issues.
Of course.
And then that's how that came to be. I thought that was like pretty funny.
And you know what's
Like,
funny?
It all comes full circle.
I stole that video from someone too.
Oh my gosh, YouTube is not original.
Dude, it's
That's
like
exactly
it's a
how it is.
never-ending centipede. It never ends. Everyone is just like stealing each other's video ideas. So,
But that's
yeah,
what
I mean,
makes it unique, because it all gets quadrupled into like something entirely new.
yeah. No
Like
idea is
my most
original.
viewed video.
Yeah, go ahead.
My most viewed video, I directly stole it from someone else.
Yeah.
But I put my own spin on it, told my own story, put like my own editing, and I got double the views.
You know what's funny? Someone's chat said, "Holy shit, it's the documentary guy." I changed the title. We interviewed him like way before this, so if you want to watch the guy and his face, this is a completely different person. I'm gonna change the title.
Yeah,
so.
if you go back in like the YouTube video, you can see like the red line. Just like scroll it back a bit, and you'll see it there.
Yeah, that guy's very smart. I love YouTube. I the only reason why I like it so much is just because it's fun. And I think people always forget that. It's not that YouTube particularly is fun, but at least for me, we make it fun. Right? It's like, and honestly, my next video is about fast food. I have a gripe. People talk about fast food jobs as if it was difficult. I had a great time. That's my honest opinion. And I really noticed the trap that you meet 30 and 40-year-olds that get stuck in that fast food job forever. And the truth is, it's really nice. The pay is not bad. You get unlimited food. You're 30, so you feel like the boss. You feel like the king. Cool. By the way, Nath, is there anything else you wanted to say before I end off this live stream?
I mean, no, not really. Oh yeah. Also, okay. One thing that I did notice before I clicked off, because I wanted to like keep everything a surprise. I didn't want to just like
Cool guy.
look at
yeah,
you preparing and everything.
I appreciate that. I appreciate
So-
that.
One thing you mentioned was my channel's about thing. So that was actually entirely random. That was not. I had that there since like 2022. Like I've had that there for like 3 years. That was not inspired by anything. But I know you're curious about that.
Oh, okay.
That was just a complete coincidence.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? A lot of people in different books say the same thing, but it's not like they copied off of each other. It's just everyone shares the same ideas. Yeah.
Like it just so happens to be that.
Yeah, no, the only reason why I mentioned that is people steal my videos all the time. And back in the day, I used to be I used to hate it. I remember I was like a small YouTuber in my high school days, right? 5,000. There was this fucking Slovakian YouTuber that would steal not only my videos, but you know, like the videos you spend a lot of time on where it's the characters moving, right? It's the characters moving. It's like the super animated stuff. That guy would steal that part. All right, he would steal the editing part, and then he would take my exact script because I didn't have my face back in the day. He would steal the script, the videos I react to, the edits, and just put it in Czechoslovakian, and he was double my size. So,
No.
Yeah. And then, like one of my more popular videos, it also got copied by like another YouTuber, and it did better than my video. So I was like, fuck. So that means he's just better than me. But yeah, you know,
exact same thing happened to me. I kind of in my most recent video I responded to it, but if you know the YouTuber Tectone,
oh yeah. What do you do?
So he reacted to my goth girl video.
The
goth girl epidemic. So he made a video, got quadrupled the views.
Yeah. He reacted to my video too.
Called me a gooner and left. I was like, bro, what the heck?
Yeah. He reacted to one of my videos too. It did better. I mean, that's the game, right? Like they just have such a larger fan base. Asmongold's running around. But that's the plan. That's the inspiration. I'm gonna get there one day. That's how I view it.
Oh, the day when I can just watch someone else's video and make like 4 times the amount.
I know. That's the dream. It's more inspirational than negative. All right.
No, but it's seen like a whole bunch of different ways.
Yeah. You can even see it as like, you know, I'm gonna burn the world. Why did this guy steal my video?
No, literally. Like there's a whole bunch of people who just hate on it as like, I think that's just purely out of jealousy. Like you know for a fact they would do the exact same thing if they could.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, I'm sorry, I keep on interrupting.
No, you're all good. It's just we're having a good conversation, so it's difficult to end. But I think my treadmill literally got like it gave me an E5. I stopped walking because it was stuttering, so I think it's over. Never happened, by the way. I think I was walking for a bit too much. It's been 4 hours because I was walking before the live stream as well. But I'm gonna let my
cardio maniac.
I'm gonna let my treadmill rest. Yeah, I used to do cross country back in the day. All right, we're ending it right now.
Great conversation. Me too. I was a cross country kid.
Yeah, dude, get out of here.
Dude, that's how I lost all the weight. I did cross country, dropped down to like 130 pounds.
Congratulations, man. Was it fun? Go ahead, tell me. Was it fun?
I learned a lot from it. I definitely don't regret it, but I wouldn't say it was fun. It was more like, it's kind of like, I'm compared to like going to the military. It's kind of like going to the military to where it's not fun, but you also don't regret it either.
Yeah, 100%.
It's very like character building.
Yeah, like the running aspect sucked, but for some reason I enjoyed it, if that makes sense. I didn't like the running, but I enjoyed it. Other than that, Noth, is there anything you wanted to end off before you left, like final remarks?
Sub to my channel, at The Real Noth on YouTube, and that's about it.
Perfect. Noth, thank you for joining me. Thank you for always like being open to staying up late, being cool with internet anarchists joining. Other than that, I hope you have a good night.
Dude, who wouldn't be cool with that? Are you kidding me?
Well, we interrupted the interview just a little bit, right?
Just an hour and a half detour, no big deal.
Yeah, just a little bit. But I hope you have a good night, Noth. It was a great conversation we had.
Oh, of course, man. This is the first time we met too, so.
I know, it's crazy.
So it was great meeting you.
All right, yes, great meeting you as well, Noth. Hope you have a good night.
All right, you too, man. See ya.
All right, peace out, bro. Days, oh days. I did not mean to live stream for this long. I'll tell you guys one thing, bro. I gotta take a freaking piss. I gotta pee desperately. Potato Lover, shout to you. You have been in here since the OG days. Everybody's yapping their ass off. Parasocial relationship is one-sided connection in person, blah, 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 blah. Who's Beb John? Tactics for YouTube social media success at Potato. Amazing stream though. Yeah, you know what's funny? There's always like bigger fish in the sea. You know, I was always thinking, right? It's like there's like this, sometimes there's an insecurity of like whatever I'm talking about, because some guy could just join and say, oh, this is stupid because I'm more successful than them. But yeah, you know, Bob John does something with YouTube, and I don't think he realizes that that's not impressive, especially who we just had on. Other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. We're going to be doing this a lot more later down the line. This is just a glimpse of the future. Didn't expect a celebrity pop-up, expect it, okay? Rambo's a great interviewer. Rambo had a great time. Toodly-doo. Peace out, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. All right, and then this is the part where I talk a little bit. I do my little dance. Now I just found out the channel. Dude, watch the Kanye video. Watch the Kanye video. You just finished your dinner and workout this stream. Yo, I finished my workout too. All right, bye guys. And I learned so much. Bye guys. I'm ending it.